We got Nancy Grace straddling the fence. Let me look at y'all real quick. We got Nancy Grace straddling the fence, acting like she on one side and on the other. Now she done race Batum Tatum on her platform to talk about this Nolan Wells case. We still got more uproar from the community, and now I heard Bart is trying to hand out defamation lawsuits to people talking about what's going on. But hey, buddy, nobody put their name on the toll receipt, but you. We heard your name on the call, not nobody else's. So you shouldn't get mad. I'm Jay Lava. I scoured the internet so that you don't have to. And we finna get right on into this Nancy Grace interview. You know what I'm talking about? Let's see what her and Race Batum Tatum is talking about. Hold on, let me adjust it so everybody can get a good little visual. All right, and let's go.
He was face down on the beach right at the water's edge.
If he was sent face down, that also doesn't make sense to me. If he's face down, wouldn't blood pool just by nature of gravity this way?
So right now we've got a lot of questions, but as the second doctor says, this is all still pending investigation.
If this were your child, wouldn't you want to know what happened?
The mom asked for Nolan's phone.
Right.
Was there a struggle over it, or did you guys hand it over?
I mean, just handed it over. I mean, we didn't think anything of it. Like, she asked for Nolan's phone. We knew they were close friends with, the Wells family, and my buddy went out to his truck and handed the phone over. No complications, no issue, nothing. But I mean, I told Miss Christine that we had his phone and he had left it in our possession on the boat.
When did you talk to her about that?
When I was on, no, I didn't talk to her once. Like, it was like 12:30. I mean, I might have texted her a couple times and talked briefly about a couple things, but I told her on the phone before I called the Coast Guard that we had Nolan's phone. Before I called Miss Christine, none of us had a reason to go through Nolan's phone. I mean, there's multiple phones on the boat. Why would it be? And the boat was having issues. Why would our concern be getting on Nolan's phone or something? I mean, I don't even know Nolan's password. None of my friends do. We had no reason ever to get on Nolan's phone and look at anything. I didn't even touch Nolan's phone. None of us touched Nolan's phone until somebody took it off the boat and put it in Wyatt's truck, and then no one touched it until we handed it back, to the mom that was at my buddy's house.
That is from the Officer Tatum show. He has interviewed several of the young men that were on the boat when Nolan Wells was taken to Horn Island. They say he was not on the boat on the return trip, although audio seems to suggest otherwise. Listen to the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources call.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
All right. Well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't have the tag on
Unless you have a membership number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at 2.
Particular phrases in that call, if it's to be believed, Nolan don't die. Sure, he's dead. Is he dead? Nolan, OMG, wake the F up. It goes on.
My question is, why not believe it? Because the black woman did it? Is that why we can't believe it? Because the black woman busted down? I'm really sick of that. Like, that's really starting to really tick me off. Now it's so somehow unofficial because the black woman did it. But y'all using it though.
Thought he was on the check his chest. That, if it's to be believed, suggests that Nolan was on that boat. Tatum says the witnesses are clear. He was not on the boat. Tonight, we learned in the last 24 hours, the Nolan Wells family hits social media giants with subpoenas for all information related to Nolan's phone.
Yeah.
First, straight out to Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter. Then we will be joined by Brandon Tatum. Dave Mack, what's happening?
Right now, Nancy, the family of Nolan Wells has announced that they are going after, they have subpoenaed documents for Nolan Wells' phone. They've gone to the media giants like, TikTok, Instagram, the Meta companies, everybody that Nolan Wells used to push out videos of what he was doing and pictures. And they believe that some material was deleted from Nolan's phone. And this is what they're trying to prove with these subpoenas, to get all of the information, as well as, by the way, the location tracking app Life 360. So you got Snapchat, WhatsApp, TikTok, Meta platforms, and Life 360. All of this, the court documents already filed, Nancy.
Nolan Wells' family slapped subpoenas on multiple social media giants seeking his account information and data. This into the investigation of the teen college football player's mysterious death. They were issued in the last 24 hours, including Snapchat, WhatsApp, TikTok, Meta platforms, Life 360, and these are according to court documents demanding the companies turn over all materials info related to Nolan's accounts. This includes current and prior usernames, passwords, email addresses, phone numbers, even displayed names. They want IP addresses associated with every account, all communications, chats, posts, stories, and info. His cell phone has become a critical issue in the probe into Nolan's death. What happened to Nolan? Now, his mother, Christine, says when her son's phone was brought to the family, they had concerns because there were no pictures or videos on either of his Snapchat accounts. Triggering their fear, items may have been deleted. That's what's happening. There's been a lot of controversy. Were photos, were texts deleted? Were snaps deleted? We've been trying to figure it out, but we're seeing through a mirror darkly. We don't know. But according to experts, a trail will be left if anything has been deleted, even if you delete it from the deleted file. Now, joining us, special guest, Brandon Tatum. You know him well. He's a former police officer with Tucson PD. That's what impresses me. What impresses a lot of other people is he is the star of The Officer Tatum.
Ain't nobody impressed by nothing he do, girl. Shut up.
Officer Tatum, thank you for being with us tonight. Question to you. You interviewed, as we played at the get-go, several of Nolan's friends. Did they show you photos, videos, snaps of that day on Horn Island?
Well, Nancy, thank you so much for having me on. I spoke to 4 of the boys that are originally accused of being involved in Nolan Wells' death. And they did show me a lot of evidence. I want people to be very clear with this. I spent my career putting people in jail. My career is based on getting justice for people who have been done wrong.
Career is based on being the biggest butter biscuit coon that you can be. That sucks up and carries the draws for white people. But go on.
Never been a defense attorney. So me going out and doing this was to find out what happened to Nolan Wells. And in talking to these young men, the burden of proof is they're going to have to prove to me. I'm not going to listen to what they say out of their mouth. They're going to have to show me And in many cases, they showed me videos of Nolan on the island. They showed me videos of the boat when they were getting towed out, which is consistent with, kind of similar to what the phone call was. I mean, they showed me pictures of them with Nolan. They showed me phone records of them calling Nolan's mom and all of the above. So they seemed very consistent. They seemed very genuine. And they also proved to me some of the things that they had told me in the interview that I had with them that I have uploaded on my YouTube channel.
Officer Tatum, are you telling me that they had reception on Horn Island? Because many people are saying, well, the reason that there's nothing on Nolan's phone of that day, like there's no pictures, there's no snaps, there's no text, there's no anything, not because it was deleted, but because he didn't have reception. But you're telling me the other boys did have snaps, photos, videos, and reception?
Yeah, no, Nancy, let me clarify this for you. It wasn't that they uploaded this online. They showed me videos and things that they took from the boat during the outing on 4th of July. I was personally out at Horn Island. I rode out there on a boat, and I didn't have great reception there. And I left my phone in the boat when I got into the water and we were actually going out to do interviews.
Objection.
Right.
Objection. You've been in court long enough to know you're going to get objections. You said you didn't have great reception, but you did have reception, did you not?
Dun, dun.
No, there was reception there. It just wasn't great, and it wasn't great enough for people, in my opinion, to upload. You can make a phone call potentially, but you wasn't going to upload data to a social media account. Now, could people take the steps to do it if they're dedicated enough? Yes, but it doesn't appear that would have been a frequent thing, given the fact that you probably had one or two bars out there. And I heard evidence of that. Not only did I see evidence of it when I went out there myself personally with my cell phone, when I listened to the CETO call, you could tell that the call dropped out several times. It seemed like they were having trouble at times hearing each other. So it is consistent. And anybody that travel out there that have gone to the 4th of July celebration, they know that the reception is not very great. So the videos that they showed me in call logs were things that were not associated to social media, that they never posted on social media. It was, pictures and videos that they took on their phone.
Okay. Let me refine my question. I take it from your last answer that the answer is yes, you had reception on Horn Island.
Yes, I did have reception on Horn Island.
We just played that CETO call. It's 2 words, SEATOW, and it's kind of insurance that people have that are boat goers. And if you have a problem, CETO will come and tow you back to the mainland. They said they had a problem. They said they were taking on water. One of your takes is that all the chatter that we're hearing, wake up, Nolan, are you dead, Nolan, wake the F up, Nolan, could be referring to the battery, the bilge on the boat, that it's all unclear. Regarding the boat being disabled, apparently it was not. Listen.
So first, at 9:56 a.m., the boat leaves the original dock. It arrives at Horn Island at 11:14. So at around 4 o'clock, there is a call to the Coast Guard about the boat. NBC News got a hold of it.
We're sinking. Can you all please come?
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on board.
Everybody's on board. So does that mean Nolan is on there? Who was on that boat? At 4:31, the boat leaves Horn Island and it is towed approximately 3 miles, and then the tow ends. So after 3 miles, they go back to the original dock, okay? They arrive at 5:44 p.m. So it looks like this is where Horn Island is, and this is where the original dock is that I am referring to. I looked it up, and El Camino Real Road is in Gulf Hills, Mississippi, which is right above Ocean Springs. So I'm wondering if this is the house where they got the phone. Now, the boat travels to Fort Bayou. At 6:06, the boat returns to the original dock. Then, from the original dock, the boat goes back to Fort Bayou, and then they go to the boat launch, and it is put onto the trailer and moved by the vehicle. Did they drop people off at the original dock, travel to Fort Bayou, pick somebody up, and go back to that original dock? And then from there, why was there an hour and 13-minute time gap? This boat was sinking hours before, and then they're just having it docked for an hour and 13 minutes. You would think they'd want to get that boat out of the water ASAP.
That from the Real TikTok Detective. The boat wasn't sinking. They told Cito it was sinking. What's the truth? Was it sinking and they repaired it? Did they have a leak and they repaired it and kept on SOP? Brandon Tatum joining us, former cop, now star of the Officer Tatum. Did the young man explain those travels we just identified?
Yeah, 100% they did that. I wish that people on the internet would have had an opportunity, and they can go look at the interview that I did with Warren, but they had an opportunity to actually talk to these young men to get this in perspective, because some people have no idea how boats function and how they work. They explained to me, they took me on a boat and showed me exactly where they went, where they docked, where did they, stop at, how did they get the bilge pump and the water out of the boat and all of the above. So they were sinking. They were taking on water. The water came up high enough that the batteries weren't working. They had to get a tow to kind of tow them out, where you can see the young lady saying about 3 miles out. It's a complicated boat's jargon, but they ended up getting the boat out. They ended up getting it to the point where they could run the boat, run the water out of the boat through a hole in the boat that they ended up plugging. They explained all this. Anybody that does boating know exactly what they're talking about if you hear them explain it on the interview. So they have
You don't stop disrespecting me like don't nobody else know nothing about boating. That's what he's going to stop doing. If you just know about boats.
an explanation for all of these things. And not only that, Nancy, they showed me video of them on the boat, and Nolan was not on the boat. Nolan was not on the boat log. And there are people who saw Nolan on the island closer to around 6 p.m., which is far after they left, far after this phone call was made. I saw text messages from the young lady that Nolan was with, the young lady named Katie. I saw her text messages. In her text messages, she said that she heard the boys yelling for Nolan to get on the boat. He did not. She said in her text message that she did not see Nolan get on the boat he came on, which was Wyatt's boat, which is the boat that was sinking and they ended up leaving on. So it wasn't just a statement that they made on a podcast. They were actually showing me evidence to the contrary of what the mainstream YouTubers and some media outlets are putting out to people at large. And so I wish that people would go watch the interview or at least take some time to listen to these boys' statement. And I'll say this, Nancy, too. I wish that the family would have taken the time, or at least Benjamin Crump would have taken the time to reach out to the lawyers or reach out to these young boys to get their statements, so they're not wasting their time sending everybody on a rabbit trail when they could have just talked to these boys. And they could have, but they refused, because I saw a message from Warren where he called Nolan's mom twice. I've seen messages from Warren's stepmother, Ashley, where she sent Nolan's mom a text saying, "Please reach out to me whenever you're ready. I would like to talk." Other parents I saw messages from who reached out to Nolan's mom saying, "We need to talk. Can we talk? I'm available if you need to talk to us." I do not understand at this point why Benjamin Crump would go out and put misinformation out online when he had the availability to talk to these kids and clear these things up like I did before he presented this to the public. We also reached out to Benjamin Crump 4 times. And on the 5th time, they come back and tell us that the family is not doing interviews. We didn't ask to talk to the family. We asked to talk to the attorney, Benjamin Crump. Why? So we can come together as a community and solve what happened to Nolan Wells, not create and stoke division.
Have you ever heard of the term word soup salad? Word salad? This is Word salad with nothing croutons, with nothing dressing. Light nothing dressing. He is saying nothing.
Which is what I've seen
Mr.
from
Tatum,
Benjamin
that
Crump.
is exactly what we're trying to do. And I hear everything you're saying, and I think like a prosecutor. My main goal is to find the truth of what happened to Nolan Wells. And one thing I cannot get away from is the medical examiner. I'm trying to get to tonight's news, which I'm going to get to, but, you were seeing video from WLOX. Speaking of sinking, is at an alleged issue with the boat bilge. Well, Randy and Bunny on TikTok have their interpretation of that. Watch this.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
That from Randy and Bunny on TikTok. Joe Scott Morgan, very quickly before I can get into why the family believes they need subpoenas to social media giants to get the truth about what happened to Nolan's phone. Anybody can say anything after the fact. Those boys may be innocent. They can look like choir boys, angels now, but I still don't know what happened on that boat, and I still see conflicts. Can they be reconciled? I hope so. But until they are, we're on it. This is what I can't get away from. Control room, please show Joseph Scott Morgan the autopsy diagram of the victim's occipital bone. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. I do not care if an archangel lands on this anchor desk. If he lies to me, I'm using handcuffs for his wrists and a rope for his wings. You hear me? Look at that again. Put it back up. He has deep reddening subcutaneously on the back of his head. Nowhere else. It's not on his neck. The back of his neck anyway. Don't see it on the back. Don't see it anywhere else on the body. So I really don't want to hear a lame explanation that it's lividity of the blood sinking to the back of the body. Number one, the body was on its face. But that said, they kept the neck and the lungs. Lungs to see if he drowned, neck. Why would they keep his neck? I can't get away from this, Joe Scott Morgan, and I don't care how angelic the friends appear, and they may be angels. I don't know that yet. But you can't get away from this, Morgan.
No, you can't, and we can't get away from it until the investigation is concluded on the part of the state medical examiner's office and the authorities. And in Mississippi, and I can promise you this, as the day is long, they're not going to release this information because it's an ongoing investigation. I know everybody wants it. Now, what we do have is a second view. We've got a second set of eyes on this from a highly accomplished forensic pathologist, I might add, the former chief medical examiner for D.C., and he went over Nolan's body very, very thoroughly. And he in his statements relative to this area states that he cannot make heads or tails of it at this point in time because it's compromised, this area I'm referring to in the occipital area of the head, because it has been compromised through decomposition. Now, he did a multi-layered dissection, and what that means is layer by layer, the skin, sub-Q fat, down through the muscle, which had not previously been done in this manner, according to him. I don't even know if it's annotated in the state medical examiner's report because it hasn't been released yet. They're still waiting. It's pending multiple things. How many times have we heard this over the years? They're doing their own histological studies, which means the tissue samples. And also the big part to this, Nancy, is going to be the toxicology. And we know that takes some time. And it's not just going to be about alcohol. It's going to be everything in the spectrum.
Hi guys, Nancy Grace here. If you are a homeowner, you probably can financing 7% www.
My understanding.
Over 100. Back to Officer Tatum, star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube. Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph, and from what was told to me, that they all passed. And all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer. And they cooperated with law enforcement. So from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph test.
Why do you say that's
test,
from
but
what
one.
you understand? Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there. So that's what I'm saying from my understanding. They told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated with police. I just believe he didn't take a lot to take the test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So according to what they told me, they all took a lie detector test and passed. And it's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's not a traditional lie detector test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's a different methodology. I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if the people were telling the truth or not. So then the answer to
did they take a polygraph would be no.
Well, yeah, I think it could be semantics, because they took a test to analyze whether or not they were being truthful in their statements, and that certified test, they passed it. It just wasn't considered a traditional polygraph. I think it's a more advanced way of doing it.
Brandon Tatum. Hold on. In a nutshell, Joe Scott, there is a difference between a polygraph, which measures all sorts of body signals, your sweat, your breathing, your heart, your blood pressure, all sorts of things, and an audio verification test. Big difference.
Yeah. So the audio is, you're looking for stressors in the voice, and these people are highly trained that do this. And you know how the courts feel about these tests. Are they admissible or not? But I think that, going to Brandon's point, the fact that they have taken these, at least those named allegedly have taken these, according to him, I think that that's significant. Now, whether or not that this is going to be usable, a usable investigative tool, is hard to measure.
I didn't ask you if it's going to be used in court. That's a whole nother animal. We'll burn that bridge when we get there. Okay, there may never even be a court case. First, I got to find out what happened to Nolan. Okay, so let's not put the cart before the horse. You've got eye detections tests. I don't put any stock in that as to whether somebody's lying. You've got nonverbal communication experts claiming they can tell. You've got brainwave analysis. You've got all sorts of things. I want a poly. I'm not saying they did anything or they didn't do anything. Go, strap up, take me a poly. Officer Tatum, star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube. I've been told, but I can't verify, that the boat in question has been searched by scent dogs and cadaver dogs. Is that true?
I'm not familiar if that's true. Let me just clarify. The test that they took was a voice stress analysis test instead of what we call a traditional polygraph test. But I'm not familiar with the cadaver dog searching the boat. I wasn't informed that that was the case. But I was told by the boys that they did not wash the boat off or do any of those things that they were accused of doing, after this incident.
Right.
And I say, based on all the things that I've heard, it appears that they've been very truthful with me. And law enforcement. They've already communicated with law enforcement very early on.
Okay. Officer Tatum, coming from you, I do give that credence because you were a Tucson PD. I've had people sit down, look me right in the face.
What? That don't make him more credible because he's a police officer. If anything, that makes him more corrupt. What are you talking about, ma'am? Look at that goofy face she got on her. That goofy look she got on her face.
And lie, and they are so convincing. So I don't know who's telling the truth. I don't know what happened, and that's why I really resent people suggesting the investigation be shut down. We're not doing that until we know what happened. Officer Tatum interviewed multiple of the young men on that boat. Now, let me address what's happened in the last hours. The family is not buying what they are saying, that nothing was deleted. They're not saying they're lying. They're not saying they're telling the truth. They have hit social media giants with subpoenas once and for all to get everything there is to get about Nolan Wells Digital. Okay, straight out to Dr. Jim Jones joining us out of Virginia. Dr. Jones, cybersecurity digital forensics expert, digital forensics program director, associate professor, George Mason University. Okay, can't argue with that. Okay, Dr. Jones, what will the evidence reveal? Let's just start on Nolan Wells' cell phone. Let's start with Snapchat.
Sure. So on his cell phone, any images taken for whatever app are going to be stored locally, at least temporarily. So Snap is one of those apps that deletes the picture afterwards. The key here is that when digital files are deleted, the data does not immediately go away. So the data is left intact, at least for fractions of a second, sometimes hours, days, weeks. So what they'll find, assuming that they have access to the unencrypted data on the phone, is they will find bits and pieces of old text messages, videos, pictures taken, and that might reveal something that they can timestamp to the event in question, yet the picture is not still in the active files. That would suggest a deletion.
Okay, hold on just a moment. Let me see, Jones. Dr. Jones, I'm just a trial lawyer. I need you to explain carefully what you just said. Let me ask you some pointed questions. Snap is different, very different. Hold on, doctor. Let me go to Tanya Jordan, Chief Parent Officer at Bark Parental Controls, author of Parenting in a Tech World. Snap is a whole nother can of worms. The other night, example, my son and I, John David, we both love Kung Fu. We're watching The Ultimate Ip Man, and I fell asleep. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. I woke up and I looked at him. He's furiously on his phone, and of course that raises a red flag. Why is your son on the phone at 2 a.m.? I said, son, what are you doing? And he said, I'm responding to a snap. I'm like, let me see. Who's snapping you at 2 o'clock in the morning? It's some freaky dude in his underwear on the other side of the world. He went, gross, number one. And he said, they disappear. Okay. Snap. What is it?
Snap is an app that was developed to send disappearing nudes many, many years ago. So it's wild, and today now flock to that app, and parents allow it. Myself included. I regret letting my son have that app. So now fast forward to today, children think that this media disappears because that's the user interface presented to them. But the media does not disappear. Children sitting on either side of them can take a picture with their phone, and that data lives on Snap servers because, as we know, law enforcement has had a heck of a time subpoenaing them and getting access to it.
Okay, that's gibberish. So, does a snap disappear?
A snap appears to disappear to a user. So if I send a snap, and let's say, Nancy, you send me a snap. When I open it up, it disappears from my view. But that media, that photo, that video that you sent me, it is still alive in Snap's ownership.
Okay, so what that means to me as a trial lawyer is I can subpoena it and I can see it.
Yes.
Okay, that made perfect sense. Now I get it. So my son is telling the truth that it disappeared.
Yes.
To him.
To him.
But not to Snap. Okay, all right. What about WhatsApp? That doesn't disappear.
Correct. WhatsApp does not disappear, but WhatsApp is also purported to be encrypted. So Meta moved and a very big disappointment to anybody who cares about child safety to make WhatsApp end-to-end encrypted. So good luck to law enforcement trying to get anything that happened on that app.
To Dr. Jim Jones, digital forensics expert, associate professor, George Mason University, program director, on and on. Dr. Jones, I, like Nolan's mother, find it very unusual that Nolan, for a period of hours, there's nothing. He is a prolific snapper, Insta, you name it. There's nothing there. I got a problem, number one, of him separating himself from the phone. But no teen does that. Nobody does that. But if he's out in the water, he may leave it on the boat so it doesn't get damaged. But I find it hard to believe that he left the boat, leave with it and his keys, and that he wasn't taking pictures and on the boat, on the way out there. Where's all that? That's human behavior, which is not your forte. But Dr. Jones, explain to me what these subpoenas mean. Dr. Jones, from what we're learning in the last 24 hours, Nolan's family demands all IP addresses associated with his accounts, all communications, chats, posts, stories. You can explain later to Tanya what is a story, and all other information. The phone is critical because there's nothing on it for the critical hours. Subpoenas issued in the last hours to Snapchat, WhatsApp, TikTok, Meta, all Meta platforms, and all location tracking platforms, including Life 360. Okay, doctor, what does it mean?
So what they're trying to do is find everything that was pushed up to the servers. And as Tatiana pointed out, some of this content is encrypted as it goes through the servers. So they won't be able to see the content on the server, but they'll have a record that an image or a video or a message came through. So what I would be looking at is I would compare what the providers, the servers show to what's on the phone. And if I find a discrepancy, that would suggest that something has been deleted from the phone. Anybody that had access to the phone could easily delete something on the phone, much harder to delete what's being held on the servers from the phone.
I assume his phone had a password. There are certain things that you need the password to do, such as delete activity. But if you don't have a password and you pick up your phone, if you're touching the screen, that leaves a trace. If you're trying to power it off, that leaves a trace. So we should be able to see people without a password trying to actively interact with that phone, as well as someone that has it. So we would do a forensic acquisition, and that's really important here. Someone just looking in the phone, you can get a glimpse, but you can't see what's deleted and hiding below the surface. We need a forensic acquisition to do that. We can tell if it was just soft deleted, so like sitting in a trash can, or a hard delete. So if you empty your trash on your phone and then you go and throw it into a dumpster and the trash is taken away, there is a log that tracks everything. Also with timestamps on when that activity occurred.
Digital expert Heather Barnhart. Okay, is a subpoena, Dr. Jones, Dr. Jim Jones, is a subpoena the equivalent of an acquisition, a forensics digital acquisition?
Yeah, good question. No, very different. So the subpoena is going to the providers, the companies that provide these services, and it says, hey, what is on your servers? The physical acquisition is going to get a copy of the raw data stored on the phone. And to Heather's point, what you see through the interface is only a small fraction of what's actually stored on the device. It's a very busy place and things are being replaced and removed all the time. The physical acquisition will take a snapshot in time of anything that's left, in particular, the fragments. She also made a very good point about the logs. Phones, modern smartphones, keep very detailed logs. It's not the picture, but it will tell you that someone deleted a picture, and you may even have a timestamp or other metadata that would help you know something about that content, even if you can't see the content anymore.
So, Dr. Jim Jones, if I delete something, let's just pretend it's a text. We delete a text. Then you go to the deleted file and delete it from the deleted file. We can't see it, but there is a record of that, and it is very likely revivable.
Yes, to the record, for sure. There's a record of that action happening. Revivability depends on how long it's been since it was deleted and what else the phone has been doing. So it's a very unpredictable process. Think of it as something that decays over time. Sometimes that decay is very rapid, sometimes it's slow.
And we know there's a difference in retrieval time on an iPhone versus an Android. It's a very delicate process. John Mobley, veteran trial lawyer, South Carolina. What is it Nolan's mother wants from social media giants?
Everything. That's what they want. And I've been saying this from the beginning. These are the types of things they should have been doing from the beginning. Not press conferences, not grandstanding, not the all show no go, but getting the actual data from the phone so they can get real answers to put all the information regarding what happened in context. They will know if anything was posted, if anything was deleted, if it was communicating with someone. This is the real work that needs to be done. This is how we all get answers.
Hi guys, American homeowners. The FBI has been warning about a type of real estate fraud called title theft, and your equity is the target. With just a forged signature, your ownership can be transferred out of your name. Or 7, just use the link.
They could.
Title lock, just use the link below, and good luck. Back to you, Dr. Jim Jones. Will these records reveal whether Nolan Wells had reception on Horn Island or on the way there?
They could, based on timestamps of things that got pushed to the server, that would say he did have service. The absence of those records doesn't say that he didn't have service. However, the cell phone provider through the tower records could show that, because every time a cell phone talks to a tower, a record is created.
Excellent. The ping trail. Okay, back to Officer Tatum, star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube. Did the young men you interviewed, I believe it was 4 of them, state that Nolan did not have reception, or did they explain why there are no pictures, text, instas, nothing on his phone? Did they have an explanation for that?
Yes, ma'am. They didn't mention anything about whether Nolan has service or not, but they articulated the reason why Nolan may not have, certain pictures on his phone. And they had mentioned because Nolan spent the night at their house the night before, because it's traditional for the last few years that they actually went to Horn Island together. But they were saying that they had taken pictures at the house. Some of the pictures that you've seen floating around online were pictures that they took on the boat, but they didn't take those pictures when they got out there to Horn Island, because they were having fun. And I would argue that they were drinking, and I couldn't imagine that they want to get underage drinking on camera. So what they had articulated to me, that it wasn't abnormal for people not to snap and not to do a lot of pictures and things like that, because they were focused on
But you
being
told
off
me
of the
they
mainland.
showed you pictures and videos.
Yeah,
so
but
they
it's
did
not
take
uploaded.
pictures and videos.
No. It's not a lot of pictures, and they weren't uploaded. So when you're talking about Snapchat, you're talking about a platform where people are uploading images and pictures to produce to the world. What they showed me were things that they had recorded on their phone, and it wasn't a lot of different things, because most of what they did was drinking and having fun in the water. And so, what they had articulated to me as well is that it's not abnormal for people not to snap. It's not abnormal for you not to have your phone. And Nolan wasn't the only person that left his phone on the boat. They also mentioned to me, and you can see it in the interview that they did, was that they had no reason to touch Nolan's phone. They weren't thinking about Nolan's phone when they thought the boat was sinking. And when they got to the house, it was no incident when it comes to Nolan getting the phone back to the friend and parent.
You're going far afield from my question. Let me redirect you back to their phones. Nolan has nothing on his phone. They have pictures and videos on their phones. You told me that they exist, whether they posted them or not. So they were taking pictures and videos. Don't you see why Nolan's mom is concerned there's nothing on her son's phone?
Well, Nancy, it's unclear exactly what the mother is articulating, because at one point she's concerned that there's not a lot of Snapchats or social media posting. She did not articulate, or the Benjamin Crump did not mention that there's nothing on his phone. So they're not saying that the phone was wiped and there's no images or anything. She was concerned about his social media frequency, which I believe, after talking to the boys, it was consistent with what they said, and it was consistent with basic deductive reasoning that maybe he didn't post a lot on that day. So what remains a focus for me, and if I was investigating this
Not
case,
talking about
I
posting.
would want to know.
Not talking
I
about
would
whether
want
he
to know-
posted, officer.
No,
He didn't
what
even
I'm saying
take
is
anything.
that
There's no pictures. There's no
it-
anything.
that's what the mom is saying, but we haven't had an opportunity to either see or hear exactly what she's trying to articulate. Some of the things that she said in the media is that she's talking about posting. I don't believe she said that there was nothing at all on his phone, no pictures, no nothing. But I wasn't able to verify that. So if I was able to see Nolan's phone and the mother was able to show me exactly what she's articulating, I'll be able to have a better perspective in comparison to what Warren and the other boys were telling me. So at this point, I only have one side of it, and then I have a fractured perception from what the media or what the mother is saying in the media. So when the police officers look at his phone and they do a forensic extraction, if they're allowed to do that, they will see plainly if Nolan was on his phone, if he had taken pictures, and if they were deleted. Now, I'll implement this as we begin to try to guess and figure out what was happening on that day. It doesn't seem to be reasonable to suggest that the boys were in his phone deleting things. Now, after hanging out with the boys and getting to know them well, they're very intelligent young men, very savvy, and they were raised well. I would project, if I were to make an assumption, that if they were trying to cover up something that happened to Nolan, I would perceive that they would throw the phone in the water or something where it never would be recovered. Or if they had access to get into the phone, they wouldn't just delete, they would just completely rewrite the phone, or, do a hard reset. Or they wouldn't give the phone back to mama or the family anyway. So with those factors put in place and what I've talked to them about, it seems as if their story seems consistent to me, that they did not get in the phone. They did not know his password. They had no reason to believe that there was a necessity to get in the phone.
Officer,
and they gave it
I'm
over
not
to the
saying
family.
you're wrong. I'm saying I'm not taking anybody's word for anything
Right.
until I investigate it and corroborate it. Again,
That's fair.
maybe they're completely innocent. Maybe they're not. I don't know. Or maybe someone else had something to do with Nolan's death. I don't know, but I will find out. And you said, I don't know what she said exactly. Well, here is what Nolan's mother said.
When we opened it up, there was nothing. There were no saved pictures. There were no snaps from that day. And we did open it before the 24-hour expiration. So we found that very concerning, only because anyone who's ever been around Nolan will tell you at social gatherings, he's taking videos, he's taking pictures, he's even come up to me when I'm getting ready to go to bed, hey Ma, come on, take a picture of me. Like that was Nolan. So that's why we feel that things may have been deleted, was because of the fact that there was nothing in either one of his accounts.
Okay, to Tanya Jordan, BARC parental control officer and author, do you understand what she just said? I do. Explain it.
Absolutely. When a child dies, every second, every hour, every day matters. Families and investigators need timely access to lawfully requested evidence so they can find answers and hold the right people accountable. And Snapchat claims to respond to most legal requests in 2 to 3 weeks, but critics say some investigations have taken months, which delays justice. Meta, Instagram, right? There aren't many kids on Facebook these days. There's no public average for subpoena response times, but it varies. It varies. And investigators have criticized delays in some really high-profile child safety and teen death cases. WhatsApp, we talked about that earlier. Even with a warrant, Meta generally cannot read or produce message content because it doesn't have it. That's what we were talking about with the challenges with encryption. It's not a response time thing, it's the encryption. So I don't know if I answered your question, but I just felt it was really important to be very clear about what we need for justice and what social media companies are not providing in a timely manner.
You're very clear. I want Tatum to be right.
Do
I
you?
want this to be easily explainable.
Whoa, Nancy. Really? See, that's that fence straddling coming out. You got to pick a side, Nancy. You got to pick a side. You can't want justice, but want Tatum to be right because he ain't talking about justice at all.
When we know all the facts. But we will not stop until we know the facts. If you know or think
whatever, let's go ahead and get to this hood breakdown because the people got some stuff to say. So we just gonna kick it right on off with Ahmadai Shakur because she comes with the hot tea.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Ahmadai Shakur. So it looks like Bart Edmondson Jr. has decided to lawyer up amid everyone speculating and spreading rumors about him and Katie McCormick dating, and that being the reason for him potentially taking out Nolan. Let's get into it. So according to TMZ's report from this morning, they're saying that Bart Edmondson Jr. is saying that people are accusing him of having been tied to Katie, and that's the reason for him doing something to Nolan. And he absolutely denies that and says that at the end of the day, he didn't know Katie before that day. He says that, yes, that's him in the picture with the young woman, but that's an old photo. Okay. And that woman is not Katie McCormick. Okay. Please pay attention. His attorney, Russell Latino, says that Bart denies having anything to do with Katie and also denies having anything to do with Nolan's demise. Okay. I said that he didn't have anything to do with it. And at the end of the day, he says that he's been receiving threats since these stories and these rumors all came out on social media. He said that he's been threatened and that now the FBI and the state and local officials are all involved in a thorough investigation. Okay, please pay attention. His attorney says this is absolutely a credible death threat. Okay, and says that this is all due to online speculation and made up stories. Okay, that's likely what it is. See, here's the thing. We have to be careful. And I've said this before because people are putting out stuff that's fictitious. Many of these MAGA minions are purposely putting out things that are not true just to muddy the waters. Okay, so at the end of the day, the most I said about it was my TikTok yesterday. I said it was a rumor. I never said anything about it being factual because that's all it was to me, was just a rumor. Okay, I saw people talking about it and I saw someone break the story on YouTube, but I didn't really think that the person in the photo with him looked like Katie, or at least the picture that I've seen of Katie anyway. Okay, so please pay attention. What's so interesting to me is the fact that the FBI, the state and local officials all have so much time to be investigating this credible threat. Okay, but at the end of the day, they don't have time to get this investigation about what happened to Nolan off the ground because, I'm sorry, why hasn't anyone been arrested? I mean, we heard the audio, right? We know that they did all kinds of sketchy things and they've been caught in lies and everything. So I'm just wondering, so you have time to go and investigate what they claim as a credible threat for this young man, but as long as they've been working on Nolan's case, they've not come to any conclusions, and they previously said, mind you, that there's no evidence of foul play, or doesn't seem to be any evidence of foul play. Okay, please pay attention. I'm sorry, but when you're a white tea person, you absolutely have privilege. Okay, even a person of my skin tone that has lost their life, clearly has been a victim, will just get demonized and vilified and lied on. Okay, people saying that Nolan was doing illegal substances and drinking alcohol and all of these things, trying to make him into a whole criminal. Okay, and even if he'd done any of those things, what does that have to do with the fact that he lost his life? Oh, that's right. They're trying to imply, in my opinion, that he likely was intoxicated and high and then just wandered off into the water and drowned accidentally. That's what they want us to believe. Okay, please pay attention. Listen, I'm going to still stick to my guns. I'm going to go ahead and double down. I still believe that Bart had a hand in it, okay? And I do think that he is the main one. This is just my opinion, pure speculation. Because at the end of the day, it seems to me that Bart, Warren, Wyatt, I just don't think any of them, Tracy included, I don't think any of them were really friends with Nolan. Okay, maybe associates, but definitely not friends. And also the fact that The police visited Bart and he did cooperate and gave him his GPS information and all of that. But my question is, why would they have been asking him for that information to begin with if all he did was help to pull a boat, okay, or help a boat that was in distress? Because that's all he says that he did. Okay, he says he was just there to help a boat in distress. And so if that's all you were doing, Bart, why did they come to your residence and start asking you questions about your personal business and wanting your GPS data and all of that? I find it all very interesting. Okay, please pay attention. And also, I find it interesting that this tidbit of information comes out because in the article from TMZ, he admitted that he had cooperated with the police and that they spoke to him about his GPS data and all of that. And that's interesting to me simply because we found out just yesterday, at least I found out yesterday, that his name was the one on the Coast Guard report, not Warren Hudson's, okay, who said that he was the one that made the phone call to the Coast Guard about Nolan being missing and him being concerned. But then we find out Bart's name is on there. So now, just pay attention to this trend. It seems to be a pattern, in my opinion, of when any type of news comes out or any type of evidence or whatever, they always come right back the next day with some sort of story. Okay, is this damage control? Is this a distraction?
Yeah.
Is this a fear tactic? They want to scare people into to make us stop talking about it. I'm not going to stop talking about it. My opinions are my opinions, okay? And my opinions go where the evidence does.
Right.
And when there are people in the background on a boat and they're calling out his name saying, "Damn it, Bart," and then we hear people talking about check his chest. Is he dead? No one's about to die. These are the things that we know we heard. Okay, that's not speculation. That's what we heard. And they want us to think that we didn't hear it. But honey, my ears are what I believe, okay? I believe my own ears rather than what someone tells me because I'm nobody's puppet.
Right.
So that being said, listen, I don't think he's going to sue anyone. I think he just wants people to shut up and stop talking about him because we all know that if he does sue anyone for defamation, libel, and slander, there's that period of discovery. And that could be a pesky little thing. Okay, please pay attention, especially if you've committed a crime. Now, I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying if he did. Okay, please pay attention. And I seem to notice a trend in these people, okay? Please pay attention that when any of them are accused of anything, they all of a sudden come out and they have something to say. With Warren, okay, Trayston, they all came out and they did that interview after people were saying things about them. It was damage control, in my opinion. And now he's coming out after people start calling his name. All of a sudden, he wants to sue. It's nothing but a distraction. I mean, he may sue, he may not. I really don't care because he can't sue me. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, this is nothing but the Darvo tactic that I keep telling you all about. This is what these people are doing. Okay, deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. Yep. Okay, now he's the victim. All of a sudden, he's received a credible death threat. Someone wants to take him out. Someone wants to do him harm. He has to get the FBI, the state, and local police to find out who this nefarious person is and to make sure he's safe. Please. I don't think anyone threatened him. And if so, well, it would have had to have been someone that he knows, okay? Because all of these people, their information isn't plastered all over the internet. So how do these people keep getting in touch with any of them to threaten them? Okay, calling their homes, showing up at their houses and all of that. Please make it all make sense. I think this is a whole load of BS. But hey, what do I know? Right. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Aminai Shakur.
Straight facts. I knew the queen was gonna bring them straight facts. But this is what y'all can't understand about the people in the chat. Let me bust that down for you real quick.
So I asked myself, what do these people do all day where they have all this time to tend to our business?
I be wondering the same thing. Do you care to explain it to me? Because somehow I got an infestation of busters in my chat. But go on, tell me what you're on.
What do they do all day?
No. That's what they do. That's
they do all day.
Do y'all want to explain that? Is that y'all people that think that's funny? I tell you this, I would never do that to my child. I would never do that to my child. Is that y'all? Is that your folks? Is that your folks doing that? Is that how you get down? Is that your pastime? Because that ain't funny. That ain't funny. That's what y'all do? I'm racist because this what your people do? That I'm racist because that's what your people do? I'm racist? Go hit him up and tell him. I ain't do that. I'm just saying, while y'all over here in my chat, are y'all making videos about this? This scourging y'all community? Yeah, I wonder what he got about ankle bracelet on for.
I mean, it's y'all community. Can one of y'all go check on them kids? Make sure everything's okay over there? In case y'all needed something to do.
I'm just saying. In case y'all needed something to do, something to think about. While you over here, while y'all over here doing all of that. Hey, it's lit up in here. We got over 2,000 people up in here, man, between these channels, man. Y'all go ahead and hit them like buttons and subscribe for all the new people that be here. Yeah, I'm getting on their backside. That's what I do. Hey, come. It's time to learn something, y'all. It's time to learn something.
It's really funny. Y'all didn't have a hard time saying that Carmelo was guilty. So when Carmelo said he touched me and I told him not to, y'all said that was a confession. Yeah, let's talk about it. Y'all said that was a confession, but then we got this audio from a boat where you can clearly hear them calling Nolan, and Nolan is not supposed to be on that boat, according to y'all. And y'all want to say that, oh no, that's not a confession. That's just something that we're just hearing things. Well, if that's the case, then Carmelo Anthony did not confess either, and he deserves to be let out of prison.
Exactly.
Hell, we still don't have any evidence when it comes down to Carmelo Anthony. Nope. Yeah, I need y'all to explain that to me. How in the world do y'all take Carmelo Anthony and say that he confessed, but then we got a whole audio of people over here saying, Nolan, is he dead? All of that stuff. And y'all want to say, oh no, but that wasn't a confession. Y'all are just hearing stuff. Y'all ain't really hear what y'all wanted to hear. He didn't say that. Well, then in that case, Carmelo Anthony is innocent as fuck. And you know what? I'm sticking to this, Darvo. Deny, reject the allegation, or concern outright. That's what y'all are doing. Y'all are denying it. Attack, criticize, or discredit the person raising the concern. You guys are definitely doing that, trying to make it seem like, oh, y'all don't know what y'all seen. And then reverse victim and offender, which is what y'all are doing. Portray yourself or the person being criticized as the victim. So y'all are trying to make Warren out to be a victim. Sticking to this, Darvo, deny, reject the allegation or concern outright. That's what y'all are doing. Y'all are denying it. Attack, criticize, or discredit the person raising the concern. You guys are definitely doing that, trying to make it seem like, oh, y'all don't know what y'all seen. And then reverse victim and offender, which is what y'all are doing. Portray yourself or the person being criticized as the victim. So y'all are trying to make Warren out to be a victim while portraying the accuser as the wrongdoer, which is what y'all are trying to do to Nolan.
Right.
You guys are trying to make it seem like he was just walking around drunk all day, and Warren is the victim now because everyone is attacking him and accusing him. That's what you guys are doing. I see straight through your tricks. It's called Darvo. That's what you guys are doing to us. Y'all don't let them do it. We ain't gonna be quiet. We gonna keep on saying Nolan Wells' name. He did not drown. Warren, Bart, whoever else was on that damn boat.
Yeah.
Y'all are the ones responsible for Nolan Wells' demise. And I'm not going to say allegedly because it's true.
Point, period, blank, blank, period, point, point, blank, period. All that, every one of them, in whatever order you want to put it in. Whatever order you want to put that in. And guess what? Even Flacco tried to get in on it. Flacco even tried to get on, say TMZ caught in 4K lying.
When it comes to this Nolan Wells situation, TMZ went away from their usual practices. Harvey Levin is front and center when it's a Celeste and David update, when it's an update about this case and this case. Harvey is the lawyer. He's front and center for everything. And then on occasions, you'll have the black guy next to Harvey.
So after they're on Horn Island on July 4th, at the end of the day, about 4:30, they decide they're heading back to the mainland. And the owner of that boat, or the grandson of the owner, who's driving the boat, realizes that they are taking on water. Their bilge pump isn't working, so he places a call to a tow company called Tow. Think is that in the background of that call,
what people think, how they did, how they minimalize words that we hear. We heard those words clearly, bruh.
I swear.
We heard, is he dead? Oh my God, Nolan, no. Get up. We heard those words clearly. Now they're minimalizing those words now. Pay attention. These folks are sneaky. Pay attention, bro. Oh, nah, man, that's just commotion. Nah, man. Now they're saying that, it's just commotion because they're trying to say, oh, nah, man. It was a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Y'all couldn't even hear. Nah, bro. The sister enhanced the audio. Shout out to the sister, who's a professional audio engineer, if you guys don't know. You see, independent media is breaking this case open. The person who enhanced the audio, the beautiful black sister, she is a professional audio engineer.
And
she makes sure to...
And they need to put some respect on her name. See, they need to put some respect all on her name, because they try not to use her audio or give her the credit when they do use it. And trying to discredit it like they don't know it's real. They need to put some respect all over her name.
Enhance it to where it is not just staticky. But the sister enhanced the audio to where you could hear it clearly. As clear as it could be. This is a professional who did this. This sister did her job.
I swear.
This sister did the job that TMZ was supposed to do.
Right.
They say y'all got no proof. Their favorite line was...
Hold up. Let me tell y'all this too. Not to discredit the sister or anything, but there was another dude on Facebook. He put it in Logic Pro and put one little filter on it and tuned it up real nice too. It don't even take that much. So we know they could have did it. But shout out to the sister, because she did it first and did it the best.
There's nothing that suggests foul play was done here. That was their favorite line before the audio came out. Now the audio came out and you hear it clear as day. Now the new thing is up to interpretation. Don't play into their games. They're not looking for answers. They're looking for reasonable doubt. How come?
They're not looking for answers. They're looking for reasonable doubt. Hey, they serious right now, fam. They even getting that they just start subpoena some of the people that I featured on the joint. Y'all know, hold on, let me show y'all something. Y'all remember the girl Kim? The white girl Kim? Yeah. They getting at the white girl Kim. They trying not to let nothing slide. Hold on, check this out. They even got Kim neck.
So check this out. Old Bart Edmondson Jr. has obtained Russell Latino out there in Mississippi, where he lived. And he is filing a defamation on her, Kimberly, because he said that the accusation that she has made against him online has caused him to get a death threat. And he wants an apology. That is the funniest thing I have heard all day. The funniest thing. Now, Bart, you just opened up a whole can of worms. You got death threats because they was calling your name on that recording. That had nothing to do with her. Don't redirect and try to deflect. The truth is gonna come out. So check this
Hold
out.
on.
Old Bart
And hold on. I got, not only do I got that, but I got Kim's clap back. Hold on. Kim ain't, it's a little curse in there. I'm gonna see if I can kind of catch it, but you know how she be.
You want to sue me? It's gonna go. Come here. Let me put my glasses on. All right. I am poor. I have nothing. I don't own anything. You can't put a lien on property. I have nothing. Okay. So you're gonna first have to prove that what I'm saying is false. Okay. Then it's gonna cost you so much money. I got free lawyers. You know how many lawyers have been hitting me up like begging to take the case because they know the publicity. Here's what you don't understand. You suing me, oh, that makes everybody feel bad for me. And guess what? People want to pay me when that happens, baby, and I'm poor. So, okay, worst case scenario, you sue me, you win. Let's say you win. What you gonna do? You can't get blood from a fucking rock, dog. What are you gonna do? Okay, I'll claim bankruptcy. Maybe I claim bankruptcy, like 4 or 5 times, and I could be president one day. Okay, that's how it's gonna work. So do what you gotta do.
It's going down right now. It's going down right now. Bart said he ain't playing no games. He coming at all them folks. Bart said you gonna keep my name out your mouth. That's what Bart said. Now, I don't know if y'all know, but now Warren's people done put up some money. Did y'all know that? Check it out.
Ooh, things are getting spicy now. Warren's father tells TMZ that he's offering a $50,000 reward to find out what happened to Nolan Wells. On the same day that the other friend, Bert, decided to lawyer up and is threatening to sue people for defamation of character. Ooh, it's getting hot. Character.
Let me see.
It's getting hot. Lawyer up.
It's kind of small, but let me see if I can run through it. It say Russell Latino. It says, I have been retained by the family of Bart Edison Jr. to pursue people defaming him without fabricated assertions of the facts and are putting Bart and his family and friends in harm's way. The family will put out a formal statement later today and announce the initials of the first defamation lawsuit. Bart received a credible death threat yesterday because some of the made up speculations on this and other FBI's on this and other sites. The FBI states that the local law enforcement have all been activated, but I wanted to share the few things for people that think that it's a game to invent lies that could get another person killed. Oh, poor little Bart. Somebody already died. Look at this. Ain't this Darvo, y'all? Didn't we just hear about this? It says we have hired a private investigator firm to identify and track individuals gained in defamation against the Edmondsons. You think you are young, naive, and lack resources to pay civil judgments will not deter us from filing lawsuits against you. It's not the money for the clients. They want to protect the family, and they want to curb people who lie recklessly. So they just told you a lot right there. Now, if we remember earlier, let's go back to them saying that this is old family money, that Bart come from a family of money, old football players, like they got pool in the town, right? So ain't it kind of sort of like they talking how they enforce the other subordinates in the town too, allegedly? Like, you know what I'm saying? How they made Judge Ashley jump out the box because they had a judge on the pay line. How they made Sheriff Ledbetter jump out the box because they had the sheriff on the pay line. How they made the governor and the DA and the medical examiners and the coroner. They had all these people jump out the box on some, it was just an accident right off the bat. Right off the bat. After that letter from Ashley, Cole came, then came everything else. The Coast Guard, the Navy, everybody started falling in line. We didn't even know, I didn't even know Bart's name until, I don't know, till that phone call came out and we heard it. I mean, I heard my buddy Bart in the interview, but I didn't even know who they was talking to like that. Talking about like that, right? But now, when the rubber meets the road, now, is the story unfolding now? Is it exactly what we said now? Did we say that them boys? You're some damn devil. No, not that one, but this one. Is this the reason for it all, y'all? Is this the reason for it all? Because it seems like it. So we can give up the Nolan possibly went with Katie. We can give up they left him on the island. We can give up the party. We can give up all that. We know now that Nolan was on that boat and they asked if he had deceased, and they asked to check his chest, wake him up, and damn it, Bart. And we do know that this used to be little Bart Bootang. And we do know that not only Tristan, who said something in his own words, slick to Nolan about Katie, we also had Warren talking about, man, you crazy. Crazy for what? Crazy for talking to your big homie. He crazy for talking to his big homie's girl. Oh, you talking to the big homie's girl? Oh, that's the big homie's girl. Are you crazy, dog? And then don't y'all remember we played that one video where they said that this was supposed to be a reconciliation trip for Nolan? Like they had all fell out. I wonder what they all fell out about. Was it about Katie? Yeah, get lawyered up before you accused. Isn't that strange? But hold on, we gonna let it cook out. Hold on.
And is threatening to sue people for defamation of character. Oh, it's getting hot.
Hot.
You went to TMZ but didn't go to Ben Crump's office, where you know that there's already $100,000 reward available.
125,000, thanks to Terrell Owens. To be just for the record.
For anyone that can point them in the direction of Nolan Wells unaliving. I think they're starting to fold. I think they're starting to turn on each other. You know why? Because the math is not mathing. On the same day that Officer Bad Body Built went on Nancy Grace's show and looked a fool, now you calling TMZ to tell them that you offering a $50,000 reward. And TMZ, why is y'all talking directly to the family?
Right.
It's not even that y'all heard from a reliable source no more. TMZ is going straight to the family and communicating. So y'all in cahoots. This is the same judge that put out that statement, right? That's her husband? Okay. Okay. Y'all keep saying that we shouldn't treat people like they're guilty if they're not guilty. Well, then you shouldn't be moving like you guilty.
If you ain't guilty.
Ooh, things are getting spicy now. Warren's father tells.
Come on now. If you ain't guilty, why you moving like you guilty? Shout out to Rockstar Vegas. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to take us there real quick because there will be no Nolan Wells smear campaign. Go ahead, baby boo.
Oh, Officer Tatum. Officer Tatum, we are not going for.
Nope, I ain't hear that little creepy music in the background. She trying to promote her album. Sorry, boo. I had you. But I need clean audio. My man's wanted to beat down on the friend thing as far as Bart go. Check it out.
Nolan Wells' friend Bart is threatening to sue people who make defamatory comments about him on the internet. You know, I think if you're innocent, you should just let the facts speak for themselves. Let's just get something straight. Suggesting that somebody might be a suspect of a crime, that's not defamation. There's a difference in making accusations and asking tough questions, Bart. If your first instinct is to wave around the threat of a lawsuit instead of encouraging patience while the investigators finish the process, then, you know, don't be surprised if people find that a little unsettling. Public scrutiny, that's not defamation. Asking if the investigation is thorough, that's not defamation. Saying that the situation doesn't sit right with you, that's not defamation either. Here's what I know. A young man is dead, and his family deserves answers, and his so-called friends should want those answers just as bad as anybody else. Until there's some answers, people are going to talk. And, you know, if you're involved in the case, that makes you part of the public's take on this. It's just going to be, you're going to be talked about. If you didn't want to be talked about, maybe you shouldn't have left your homie behind. And if you're so confident that you're innocent, then you should feel that the evidence will clear your name and just shut the fuck up and let the process play out. Threatening your critics might silence some, but it's not going to silence the public, and it's not going to quell their interest in how this case is being handled. My take is simple. You shouldn't accuse people without evidence, but you shouldn't try to expect people to stop asking questions just because you hired a fucking lawyer. Truth doesn't require intimidation, it just requires transparency. So, you know, while, you know, there's a difference between slander and satire and opinion, I haven't heard anybody flat out say, Bart killed Nolan.
Well, I don't know about that, sir. I mean, because it's looking that way. Hey, but Kim, she ain't done because she real tight about them trying to sue her.
Defamation means you got to prove that what I'm saying isn't true. And everything that I'm saying is coming from official Coast Guard reports, official CTO audio, like official GPS coordinates that were published. They're published. This is official stuff that's published. So, I mean, unless the MDMS is publishing fake stuff, whatever I'm saying is based off official documents that those people released. So I'm so confused as to who's defaming, what's being defamed here, because I am just going off the Coast Guard reports that everyone is privy to. Defamation means you got to prove that what I'm saying isn't true.
Right. She got a point though. And you know what I'm saying? Like, she been super, super duper on it. I ain't been playing all her videos because she got a super potty mouth, but she been on it. She been like naming a lot.
Now they trying to say Nolan Wells was on that booger sugar. His so-called best friends is on the internet talking about he was drinking heavy and he was off that booger sugar. I tell you, man, These people is not your, and TMZ, ABC, and all these people are running with that narrative. They are victim blaming. This young man is the victim. His family is the victim of something obvious. If they didn't, if these young men who so-called didn't do anything or didn't see anything, why are the Mississippi people over there, the coroner office, the governor office, the mayor office, all the people are covering up his autopsy? Why are they still got his autopsy sealed? Why are they not sending the throat over to DC? Why aren't they sending the lungs over to DC? If everybody is innocent in this situation, like y'all white people always say, oh, wait till all the evidence come out. Well, the evidence is there and they sealing it. Ask yourself, why are they sealing the evidence if nothing malicious happened? If nothing happened, why are they sealing the evidence? Why are they sealing the photos before the autopsy? Why are they sealing the autopsy that they did? Why are they sealing up? Why they ain't sealing the throat? Why they ain't sealing the lungs? If nothing malicious happened, if this was just a regular drowning, and how come they did? These people are victim blaming, and now they're trying to spin the narrative. See, let me tell you why they keep spinning narratives. They keep spinning narratives because they got to keep this thing going long enough for them to tamper with the evidence to where it exonerates them young men. No, I ain't gonna call them young men, the murderers. That's why they keep spinning the narrative, so everybody can be redirected into something and talking, so we can forget about the fact that they got all this stuff sealed up. That's what they're doing, and they need all y'all to forget that this evidence is sitting right there. What they doing? They created a diversion so that they can continue to tamper with this evidence. So where they say, okay, we're going to send it, then they're going to end up sending it after they done reconstructed and tamper with this and tamper with that. These people are the devil. They're going to hell. Now they're trying to say Nolan Wells was on that booger sugar. His so-called best friends.
You know what I'm saying? Now they try to say he on the booger sugar. Now they trying to say he on the booger sugar. Now, you know, as much as we out here fighting for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, love, life, loyalty, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, they done brought out all the coons. They done brought the coons out already. You think it was just, y'all thought it was just Brandon Tatum, didn't you? Oh, no. It's not just Brandon Tatum. This dude said Nolan Wells was drugged. Now, we did talk about that amongst ourselves on the podcast as a hypothetical, just to try to make a point. But you actually got your boy out here trying to put it together to make sure to make it seem like that's what it is. Check this out.
Nolan was sitting by the boat with that Katie girl. Nolan, get on the boat. We're leaving. The boat's having issues, panicking. Nolan, get the F on the boat. Get on the boat. And Nolan said, no, I'm staying out here. Nolan made a decision to stay out on the island.
Imagine being on another boat that's right next to the boat that you came on, and then your friend says, hey, get on the boat. The boat is about to go up underwater. I'm not getting on that boat.
So number one, I listened to the call to the CETO operator, and I listened to the whole call. And a couple things stood out to me. First, location they are at. I put those coordinates in Google Earth. I wanted to see myself. I said, where's these coordinates? So I punched it into Google Earth. It's about 700 feet north of the northwest tip of Horn Island.
So listen to what he's about to say right here. Nobody's talking about this.
And northwest tip of Horn Island is where Nolan's body was found. The northwest part of the island is also the roughest current. Like the roughest rip current happens right there on the northwest side of Horn Island.
He was possibly drugged or something. They seen him passing out. They are looking around like, what do we do? Somebody turns around and says, take this right and go over here because the rip tides are stronger here and we could just push him off the boat. He's just going to end up somewhere else, which would be so far away from us where nobody would say he fell out the boat right here. Because if the riptides pulls him all the way over there, then they can turn around and say, well, he never got on the boat because his body was found over there.
What stood out to me?
That was a nice try. I see where he was going with that. I see what he was trying to do. Because that's what you get out of all this information we've been reviewing, fam. Like, that's what you get out of that, homeboy. Like, that was a stretch. A stretchy stretch. I'm going to put him in the rip current, and then the tide is going to take him over there. That way he far away from us. That reason far away from him. I just want y'all, because sometimes y'all got to hear, you know, the other side of what's circulating out here. Sometimes you gotta hear the other side.
The most was after the CETO operator finishes talking to the guy on the boat, she switches over to the CETO captain. Hey, I got a guy here needs your help. He's like, oh, dude, I just talked to that guy's grandpa. And he said, they don't need help. So literally,
they don't need help.
60 seconds before that, the kid was saying, hey, we need help. We're sinking. We're taking on water. We need help. Simultaneous, the guy's grandpa's on the phone with the captain saying, they don't need help. Cut that. Why? That doesn't logically line up.
It gets worse.
MDMR released data from the boat's GPS. It shows that it ended up getting towed for like 300 meters or something. I can't remember.
So the boat did get towed. So if you need a tow, but your
No, it didn't. We see this dude. I hate these disingenuous dudes. We light years ahead of you, fam. Yeah, you see here another one. They think that Tatum role is cool. They try it's a lot of people trying to get in where they fit in. It's a lot of people trying to get in where they fit in. It's a lot of them out there like that.
grandpa turns around and says they don't need a tow. He allegedly sent another boat out there to tow the boat instead of the authorities towing the boat.
It got towed, and then its engine started back up, and it finished going back to the mainland on its own power. So somebody did tow it, but it wasn't Cito because the grandpa called Cito off. So why would grandpa call Cito off? Who came and towed the boat? These are questions that have to be answered that, in my opinion, are ever so important. And then the kids that were on the boat, this guy Warren, who voluntarily joined the show with Officer Tatum to talk about it, his entire interview is deceptive and full of red flags.
Nolan was sitting by the boat with that Katie girl. Nolan, get on the boat. We're leaving. The boat's having issues, panicking. Nolan, get the F on the boat. Get on the boat. And Nolan said, no, I'm staying out here. Nolan made a decision to stay out on the island.
Imagine being on another boat that's right next to the boat that you came on, and then your friend says, hey.
That was the wildest little theory I ever heard. I don't know what Cuz was talking about. That was wild thousands right there. Like, he thought he was really cooking too. He thought he was really putting something together. He really thought he had the missing link. But you know, there's another part of that. You know, there's another part. There's another part to that. Hold on. Let me get this real quick. My man say you must think that we stupid.
Y'all must think we stupid. And I smell shit all the way up to here. Mr. Russell Latino, for the record. And I want people out there to understand this. If this man come out and make a statement, that means some shit is in the air and he's getting very nervous.
Uh-oh.
Before I get to Mr. Latino, I want to say this. You see this flag in the back of here? It's covered up everything in the visual, but that is Mr. Tate Reeves. That is the governor of Mississippi. I just want y'all to know what y'all dealing with right here, right? Mr. Reeves took this picture in 2013 in Vicksburg, Mississippi. It was at the Sons of Confederate Veterans National Reunion. So we know who he is and what he represents, and anybody that represents this is a racist. And I'm just gonna keep it just like that. You see them empty threats that he made about Al Sharpton and Ben Crump?
Yes.
Let's be clear here. That's what they do when they start feeling the fucking heat. You doing your job out there and keep doing it, content creators, or just people who generally wants to know what actually happened. What you're hearing isn't by coincidence. What you believe, you are not stupid. You see, they want you to believe that, and they want you to fear them. But I'm telling you, the fear is within them because they're losing the grip on what they actually have planned. They wanted you to be silent. They wanted you not to say nothing. They wanted this whole thing to just go away and nobody question anything, and they didn't think it would last this long. Do not let up. Do not grow weary, because you are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And for the record, this isn't about Nolan Wells' mom at all. People are going to try to convince you that she's not worried, this Al Sharpton isn't worried, that Ben Crump isn't worried. We don't give a damn if they're worried about anything. One thing we know is that Nolan Wells died. And this fight is about Nolan Wells, not his mama, not his father, not Ben Crump, not Al Sharpton. It's not about us. It's about specifically Nolan Wells. If you got a black son, or if you know that your son has a friend, and even if you white, that's black, and if something like this happened to him and you didn't get no answers, then you would want to know what happened to him.
Straight up.
Don't lose sight, because these people like Russell Latino, who all he's gonna do is put out a lot of words and say a lot of shit, and no doubt they got a lot of money. Don't let that fear you. Don't let that stop you from doing what you're supposed to do.
Straight up.
The statement that he made stated allegations are completely fabricated about Katie, and he didn't know McCormick had no involvement in the death and assisted a distressed boat that day. Listen, we know this, and don't be afraid to say his name about shit that you know. We hear somebody say, "Damn it, Bart," and that's facts. We're not gonna hide behind no motherfucking threats that these people are starting to make to us just because they come out and say that they're going to be filing litigation and claims following, you know what I'm saying, credible death threats. And I get it with the death threats.
Hold up, but real quick though, I don't even really think we went past the code word talk of the call, where the caller, you know, was shook on what they was talking about and how they was actually doing the deed. We need to hear this. Check this out.
I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at
All right. And is everybody on board in good health otherwise? How many?
Somebody says, I thought he was, and then it just like drowns out. So we don't know what that means. I could have 20,000 different theories. Y'all leave me a 3. What do you think that meant? This is where it starts to get really strange. The operator begins to ask very direct questions, and they begin to act like they don't know what she's saying. They begin to half answer questions that are very convenient. Like, for example, she says, is everybody on the boat and in good health? He says, everybody on the boat. Okay, what about the good health part? But that's not even the strangest part. It's about to get really weird.
All right. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at
All right. And is everybody on board in good health otherwise? How many?
Somebody says, I thought he was, and then it just like drowns out. So we don't know what that means.
No, that's the wrong one. My bad, y'all. This is the one right here. My bad.
This come up under Jerry.
Okay.
You're going to have a fee for service come up under Jerry.
Okay.
It sounds like a bunch of kids on board on Horn Island. He's letting me know that his father's a member, but he can't give me any information. And he's saying the boat is sinking, and he's on Horn Island. It's just unfortunate. He's just a kid. There's a lot going on. So
Right.
He said there's about a lot of people on board. He says he thinks about 7. I'm guessing they're all under 18.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to be rude. He wants you guys to go out there and unpump the boat and then tow it in.
Boat it is?
He said a Triton 24-footer, but that's all he can give me.
Okay. All right.
You're going to have a fee for service come up under Jerry.
Okay.
It sounds like a bunch of kids on board on Horn Island. He's letting.
Damn, hold on. I need to find that other part. Hold on, y'all. Because I thought it was like the little 2-piece with the biscuit. Hold on. I got it right here. Hold on. Here it go right here. Damn, hold on. I don't think that's necessarily it. Damn, I hate when that happens. Okay, no worries. Moving right along. It's a lot of y'all up in here, man. We got a gang of people up in here. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe. Subscribe on that jump. You did? Otherwise, we're gonna keep it moving. Now, there was something else that I wanted to go over. And the clips is already out as far as what's going on. But it's a lot of twists and turns in this joint, right? But check this though. This the newest tea.
Okay, so there are even more theories, allegations going around. There is Nolan's friend, Tristan Shepard, I believe his name is, and he said that, basically none of the friends had anything to do with Nolan's death and everybody loves him. The boy is dead. That's my point. That's my opinion. That's just my 2 cents. The boy is dead. And if I had $1 for every time somebody wound up dead and you hear a friend, a loved one, or somebody else say, even a spouse, that person was loved by everyone, yet they're dead. Okay, so there's that. It has been said by some that Evan does not have a pool and therefore the pool party picture was not taken at Evan's house. It is also being said by some that the picture, the infamous pool party picture, was taken either the weekend prior or at some other time other than the date that we all believe it to have been taken on the night of July 4th.
Which would make sense because we already know what we heard on the tape, but go on.
Entering into the morning of July 5th. I'm not hearing anything super conclusive. That's just my personal opinion. I unfortunately have to say I really don't know who to believe at this point. I feel like everything regarding this case is so murky and potentially so overly tainted when you have a sheriff who declares that there was no foul play prior to the body even being looked at. I'm like, the take is in, so I don't know that I can believe the random 1 or 2 individual children that come out, because to me, that's super weird too. Like when children talk, like when children start talking, like they start talking in groups, even if they're small groups. So the random 1 kid coming out here and the random 1 kid coming out there, I'm like, are these kids being paid off? What's going on in this city? I don't know. It's just, this whole case is so super creepy and weird to me and has so many twists and turns and villains. So I just wanted to update you with some of what is new that has come out. I don't know what is true. I don't know what isn't true. You can listen to all the information, draw your own conclusions. Of course, we are still waiting on that independent autopsy to be done in Washington, D.C. of Nolan. And we are also waiting for any new information on the cell phone.
Boom. Straight like that. But remember when we talked about this ritualistic thing, y'all? Remember when we talked about how this just ain't a one-off, how this is like a practice? Well, y'all better listen to Auntie, because Auntie finna break it down for you.
Don't y'all find it strange that this man, I don't recall his name, on TMZ, saying that he has photos of Nolan's body on the beach and all his family has to do is ask for him? Now that right there, it brought something else to mind. And I'm not saying this about everybody, but certain people love to have trophies of black bodies.
Come on,
black dead bodies in particular.
Come on.
Because if y'all do y'all research, back in the day, when they used to do the lynchings and all of this, they kept body parts. They kept skin and, made postcards. It's like, how they go hunting and have those, the taxidermy, they go to a taxidermy and have this deer on the wall or a bull or something like that. That's the same way some of them like to treat black bodies. They have to have, they go over to Africa and kill these wild, exotic, endangered animals as a trophy. They just kill them. They not killing them because they're hungry or need food or anything like that. They're killing them just to have a trophy. And I just find it strange that They've been calling for anybody with any type of pictures, photos, videos, or anybody heard anything. They've been asking for this information, and all of a sudden, he goes on TMZ and he claims that he wasn't trying to take a picture of Nolan's body, but he was just taking this picture of the scene, and it just happens his body.
I told y'all that was weird. If the mother and the father, they want the picture, I hope this is a picture they never would have to see. Well, then why you got it? And why would they think to call you to get a picture of their deceased son?
It just happens to be in the photo. And if the family wants it, all they have to do is ask, instead of submitting that evidence or going to. And why didn't shouldn't the police have photos? Because like when you going on a crime scene, that's one of the first things they start doing is taking pictures. I don't understand how this random guy just so happens to. But anyway, they doing their best to cover this stuff up. It's sad that because this boy is black, people have to do so much digging and so much investigating, and we still don't have definitive answers as to how he died, how Nolan died. It's pending investigation. So why do they keep? Who's going to investigate? That's pending investigation. Y'all, this gonna be a long uphill battle. And I just would not be surprised if nobody's brought to justice.
All right. So shout out to Foxy Butterfly. She just hit me with the breaking news. It looks like that it looks like Ben Crump done hit Ashley Cole with the Woont Whams, right? This was posted by Jasmine Crockett. It says Ashley Cole has been sent a notice of duty and preserve evidence and spoliation letter to Carol Buffett, PLLC law firm, who works with the civil rights attorney Ben Crump, teachers who he is not licensed to practice law in the state of Mississippi. So I guess that's one of his affiliates in Mississippi. Is in this 10-page letter, Judge Cole is being told to preserve everything. This is what throughout the investigation looks like. Cold hard facts instead of saying no foul play. Suspected without investigating the way that the Sheriff Ledbetter did. Ben Crump is representing Nolan's parents, Christine and Nelmore Wormsley. All they want to know is why their son came back home, or why their son never came back home, as any parent should. We actually got the files too. So like this is like the actual files of said lawsuit. So let me see what I can go over. Okay, let me go over what they supposed to turn in. But this is pretty small. Let me see if I can put a little magnifying on that. Jeez Louise. Let me see if we can get that bigger in some way. No. Nothing. That's about it. That's about as business as I'm gonna get it. It says you are preserve all materials and all kinds of related in the way of the people, places, things, something and events surrounding the death of Nolan Wells, including but not limited to the following: text messages, iMessages, multimedia messages, WhatsApp communication, Signal communication, Telegram communication, Snapchat communication, Instagram direct messages, Facebook Messenger communication, emails, all draft emails and messages, group chats, deleted or archived communications capable of recovery, It says cellular telephones, tablets, laptop computers, desktop computers, smartwatches, cameras, external hard drives, USB storage devices, SD cards, and any other electronic storage device. For each device, you are to preserve the complete contents of each device. Boy, that's some little ass text. Give me a round of applause. I got that one. I knocked that one out. But wow, oh wow, oh wow. Shout out to Foxy Butterfly. Thanks for coming with the news real quick. Oh, they on they little headpiece real quick. It ain't no games. It's moving right now as we heard. We should hear some ring ting tingling bing bing bingling boos. Some jailbird rings.
Now look how Tatum responds to Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace literally roasted this man.
Objection. You said you didn't have great reception, but you did have reception, did you not?
No, there was reception there. It just wasn't great. And
You see how much of a charlatan this dude is? He's trying to say that because there was limited reception, that translates as no reception. And Nancy Grace wasn't going for it.
you can make a phone call potentially, but you wasn't gonna upload data to a social media account.
See, the thing is, you're not the judge, you're not the prosecutor, and this trust me, bro, believe me, bro, because I saw it, because I say it, because I experienced it.
Now, could people take the steps to do it if they're dedicated enough? Yes, but it doesn't appear that would have been a frequent thing, given the fact that you probably had 1 or 2 bars out there.
It's time for you to walk away. You made an ass out of yourself. You jumped the gun like you've always been doing since you started this campaign of cooning.
Let me refine my question. I take it from your last answer that the answer is yes, you had reception on Horn Island.
Yes, I did have reception on Horn Island.
But look how disciplined and how respectful he is and how uptight he is and how basically out of his depth he is.
Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph, and from what was told to me that they all passed, and all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer, and they cooperated with law enforcement. So from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph test.
Why do you say that's from what
one.
You understand? Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there, so that's why I'm saying from my understanding, they told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police.
And not only seconds later, he contradicts himself.
And it's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's not a traditional lie detector test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's a different methodology. I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if the people were telling the truth or not. So then the answer to
did they take a polygraph would be no.
This guy's a charlatan. He's full of shit.
No.
Cool. Now look how Tatum responds to Nancy Grace.
Come on, man. Everybody on your boy headpiece real quick. Look, even Sam has something to say about this one for real. Sam had to clap.
Tatum is just off with these lies. He was on Nancy Grace. She asked him if the boys took a polygraph test, which he claimed they all took this test. Check this out.
Have the friends taken polygraphs?
My understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph, and from what was told to me that they all passed. And all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer. And they cooperated with law enforcement. So from my
this dude is so fork tongued, man. He will sit there in your face and tell a open face, ball face, straight up lie, like he's super serious, and then turn right around and tell you another lie on top of that one, on the lie he just told you.
Understanding everybody took a polygraph test.
Why do you say that's
test,
from
but
what
one.
You understand? Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there. So I'm saying from my understanding, they told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated with police. I just believe he didn't take a lie detector test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So according to what they told me,
they all took a lie detector test and passed.
Yes, Squirrel told me they took a lie detector test. I wasn't there, but they told me they did. And Warren didn't take it because he was lying, but you know what I mean.
And it's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's not a traditional lie detector test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's a different methodology. I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if
So
the
then
people were
the
telling the
answer
truth or
to
not.
did they take a polygraph would be no.
Well, yeah, I think it could be semantics because they took a test to analyze whether or not they were being truthful in their statements, and that certified test, they passed it. It just wasn't considered a traditional polygraph. I think it's a more advanced way of doing it.
Brandon Tatum.
Certified test.
Did they take a lie detector test when they told you they took the lie detector test? And then Nancy just completely busts him down in this lie. It is insane the levels in which he will go to gargle the grapes of these boys. Secret Service Sam out saying.
He didn't say gargle the grapes, did he? Did my man say gargle the grapes? Hey man, it's a lot of people in here, man. Yeah, it's a lot of people in here. You know what we ain't did in a minute? Do y'all think we need one of them? Y'all think we need one of them one time? Do we need one of them one time? Because I see y'all over there battling. It look like y'all going to war over there. Do we need one of them one time? One time for the one time? It seemed like it been a while. My mods, my members, do we need one of them? Do we need to show the new people how we do it? With a roll call real quick, do we need a roll call? I'm just speaking to my people. Is that what we need? I guess. Is that it? I ain't got the consensus. I gotta make sure my right people say it is. Mike, roll call? Okay. Renee, roll call? Yeah. All right. Y'all don't threaten me with a good time. Don't threaten me with a good time. Hey, where y'all at? It's roll call time. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? I need to see some cities. I need to see some countries. Come on. All right, what we got? We got Connecticut up in here. We got Memphis up in here. We got Philly. We got Cali. We got Columbus, Ohio up in here. We got Ocean Springs up in here. We got South Carolina up in here. California, Richmond, Virginia, ATL, we got Gary, Indiana, Phoenix, Arizona, Philly in the building, New York City to be at. We got Lakeland, Florida. We got Alabama, we got Baltimore, DFW, Texas, Palm Springs, Jersey, Queensbridge, the AR, Charlotte, North Carolina, Alabama, North Carolina, Charlotte, We got Detroit in here. What up, though? Virginia. We got Christian's mom in here. Richmond, Virginia. Phoenix. Lubbock tomorrow. Omaha, Nebraska. St. Louis. BA. Chicago in here, DeSoto, Texas. Justice for Nolan Wells and free Carmelo. Sarasota. Let's see, Cleveland, Ohio. Hold on, I ain't really feel that one like we supposed to. I think we got to keep that party rolling one more time. We got gigs in Jamaica. We got Cleveland, Ohio. We got Indiana. Gulfport, Mississippi, justice for Nolan. Colorado in this junk. We got Canada in this junk. We got Timbuktu up in here too. I don't know if you're playing, but we got Timbuktu. PBP Podcast is a global show, you dig? Savannah, Georgia. We got Africa up in here. I appreciate that. We got New York in here. Hey, Pepper. Lynn, Michigan up in here. Marcatia up in here. Hey, you know what's so amazing about that? That's special. That is unique to us. And boy, listen, it was about 1,700 people in here. The numbers dropped so bad because they can't get that. And this is the people that I want around. If you're still around, you my family. You get it. I need you to hit that like and subscribe. You mess with this channel heavy, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. If they gone, let them go. Let them go. We don't need that. No. This it right here. This it. It's 764 people across all these platforms. We just dropped down damn near 1,000 people. So I need everybody in here right now to subscribe. If you up in here right now, you got to for your boy. You got to. One time. Who that? Black Cat Seminary, what up? VA up in here, let's go. What up, Fresh? Queen in here, I see you. GTP, I see you. You need, look, the mute, look, Lisa, let me explain, Lisa. That's some dope. That's specifically for the Keep It P podcast, baby. No, I can't give you that. Now, I make beats. I'm a producer, right? And that's a beat that I made that I never really put out before. And that's the reason why I get to play it on the program, because it don't do no copyright or nothing. So that's exclusive to the Keep It P podcast, and the folks say run it back. All right, if I get 31s, it's 764 of y'all. If I get 30 runs, we gonna run that 3 times in a row. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. First of all, I need you to subscribe, though. Can I get everybody watching right now to subscribe? Can I get an amazing feat? Can I go back and look at the analytics and be like, man, everybody did subscribe? Uh-oh, we got Sydney, Australia. Sydney, you ready to get in? Sydney, is you ready to do this? I need to see your ones, Sydney. I need to see these ones, fam. I need a flood, like ones. It's 764 y'all up in here. Dang. Y'all said y'all was family, right? Y'all said y'all want to. Look, y'all done made the light go out. The light done went out in this month. It's 764 of y'all across all of these tree platforms. Shout out to Jay Lava's platform. Shout out to Keep It P podcast platform. Shout out to Keep It P podcast raw. I see hella ones though. Let's go. DMV up in here. Blue State, thank you. Know the race is what time it is. Justice for Nolan Wells, B. Word to my mother. This ain't nothing but black unity. That's why y'all feel it like that. This is special. D1, for sure. Oh. Brooklyn in the house. Got Texas in the house. Hey. Money Mike. I appreciate you, sir. Connecticut, what up? Shout out to Black Unity. Listen, all 700 of y'all fiends that's still here, all 700 of you something, y'all, I best had earned me a subscribe. I best got a subscribe on the way. I got to look after this broadcast and see I had hella subscribers on this. What you talking about? Huh? I can't get no subscribers, B. Huh, son? Word to my mother, B. I can't get a subscribe dog on the real doggity dog. On the B1 side of the game. on the black first side of the game. On the black hand side, brother. Brother. I say, brother, man. Huh? Hold on. You say, thank you, Nolan Wells, for your sacrifice to bring light to Mississippi Ocean Springs, KKK, cleanup crew. Yep. We love you, Nolan Wells. I like that. That's real talk. With TB, I appreciate that. GTP Gaming, thank you so much for coming on the board. You say play another one? Actually, there's one that I've been trying that I thought that might be good, because I can only play my beats that ain't like registered or nothing like that, and one that I usually rap over. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got, but it don't got the same impact. It don't got the same feel. That's one of a kind. We can't. That's unique to us. That sound like the Soul Train line at a barbecue, don't it? It sound like, hey. That's when your uncle with them socks get up. That's when you see your uncle trying to do a little something over there. Your auntie shoulder your auntie get to doing the show. That's one of them. It's something different. If I was to play one at all, it would probably like be this. Hey. Look, I gotta listen. Listen, y'all, real quick, since y'all asking about the music. I guess it's a shameless plug. I don't mind. I'm not trying to push my music on you, but y'all asked about it. So if you want, I think I'm a pretty snazzy producer, you know. Think I'm a pretty snazzy guy. You can Google J Lava, you know, and then I come up as a music artist and all. And if you like, Apple Music or Spotify, I'm usually on Spotify, and if you go to my Spotify, hold on, we can't listen to that. I can't listen to nothing on here because they do you dirty. But I got a bunch of like albums you can go through and listen to some of my creations. I have a few CDs and a few songs. So if you want to go peruse through, you can go do that. Okay? I appreciate you guys' support. All right? I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I do a little music here and there, a little music. Just a little bit. Make a couple beats here, couple toe tappers. Matter of fact, I don't even know what other beats I could even play on here. Let me see. I don't know if I can get away with like 6 seconds of it, but I let me check and see what's on here. Let me see what this got. The program kind of acting slow right now too. On some whackness. Okay, so whatever. We ain't gonna trip off that. But anyway, back to the regularly scheduled program. He said, "What's the name of that one jam we was jamming to?" It ain't no name. It ain't no name to the jam because I ain't put it out yet. If I put it out, I can no longer play it on the show because the way music royalties work, then my record company is going to be trying to get the money from YouTube and blah, blah, blah. And they take all my ad revenue from my videos. So then my videos be like worthless at that point because the music, they be trying to take my music. Thank you. Thank you for the laughing disco. I like that one. Look, they be trying to take my revenue if I put my own music in there. I got all of them thousands of shows that we got. I used to do like an intro with my beats on there. And that's one of the parts of the game that I messed up. Now, granted, I got paid from my music being on the video, but I never really got paid from the videos. And I did a lot of videos and I just didn't know no better. So yeah, that's one part of the game they don't tell you about as an artist. If you're an artist and you do content, you can't really use your music in the content or they're gonna be taking all your money. It's crazy. It's a weird thing. It's JAYLAVA. Just to be clear. That's how you'll find me. But yeah, if I put that joint out, man, they're gonna try to take my joint, man. And that's exclusive to us. We found something that we can jam off of whenever we, having a bad day or we got some, what I'm saying, some real heavy knowledge and they, they attack from all sides, what I'm saying? We might need to, what I'm saying, play that thing. Oh, that's what's up. I appreciate that. I appreciate when y'all join the family. We definitely got a fam. Shit, ask Foxy. Foxy be hitting me up, sending me news and shit. You gotta comment after the show if you want to be mod, because you gotta be in the comments for me to pick on you and do that. But it looks like when we be coming together like this, look who y'all don't see in the chat. Look, Big Will, what up? Look who y'all don't see in the chat when we come together. Me, I don't really care if the numbers dwindle and we, what I'm saying, we ain't got to worry about the riffraff and you can't enjoy your experience on this channel. Now, also, I know y'all do appreciate flexing your wit and your skills against them folks, which is cool too. But like I always say, for y'all just coming in here or just subscribing, I let the YT supremacists rock out in the chat because A, what I'm saying, they give us examples on what we're talking about, and then B, what I'm saying, that give you an opportunity, to see what it really is, and what I'm saying, get your clapback game up. You gotta have practice. you need practice on your clapback game. They relentless robots anyway. You would think they're robots or bots or something anyway, the way they be talking. So don't worry about that. Okay, so what I want to do is then I guess that I am going to have to, I'm going to do another stream because it's still early. If I get out now, I can come right back at 11. Maybe like even 10:30. But I keep wanting to do this like late night stream thing. I think we had a ball the other night though. Who was rolling with me on the late night stream the other night? Cause oh, you know what? You don't know which one you a mod for? Comment on all of them and on all the channels, and I'll make you a mod on all the channels. That go for all of y'all. That's the mods and all. You can be on whatever channel, because I noticed that them folks like to skip to other channels to still get their little whoop. I block them off of one, they go to the other. You know what I'm saying? But that's because we doing something, y'all. If we wasn't talking about nothing, you know what I'm talking about? If we wasn't talking about nothing, they wouldn't be over here. And they only over here because of y'all. I could be talking all day by myself. If y'all wasn't over here, they wouldn't be over here. So give yourself a round of applause. Oh, yeah, I'm on the West Coast, fam bam. So it's only 10 o'clock for me. So it's still fairly early. I said that I was finna get these 3 stream days in. I had a little something to do during the middle of the day today. I had to go take care of some beeswax. But I was like, man, let me go ahead and do a 3 stream. But what I want to do is this: what I want to do. I keep telling y'all I want to watch these true crime series and bust them down and stuff like that. Yeah, I like to scour the internet too. I also thought that it might be fun for y'all to watch how I scour the internet, like what videos I seen that I see are relevant, and then maybe y'all can get like an insight on tomorrow's stream. Like maybe we can do it together and figure out like what tomorrow's stream is going, you know what I'm saying, be about. I don't know, something interactive, you know? I'm just trying to take this thing to some different heights. You know what I'm saying? And lead by example. Man, when they give you a little shine, boy, you better hop on it. I don't know if y'all notice, but I'm going for a consecutive stream goal. I ain't gonna tell y'all what the goal is, but once y'all see me doing it, y'all gonna be like, man, that boy on some work. I'm trying to build. So shout out to J Lava channel. We just hit 36,000. Shout out to Keep It P Raw. We just hit 3,000. And shout out to Keep It P Podcast because we close to 10,000. But I'm trying to get 100,000 on J Lava. I need a goal. I need a button. I need one of them silver play buttons. I'm trying to get to 50,000 on the Keep It P Podcast, and I'm trying to get the Raw up to 25,000. So we got big goals, man. We got big goals, and the only way I'm gonna get there is if I stream like a mother. If I stream like a mug, you know what I'm saying? So it's fortunately it's a lot of news out. It's a lot of a lot of daily happenings. As y'all notice, I've been sneaking in different stories maybe at the top of the hour or whatever. I think that my content strategy, you know, since I'm talking to y'all, I'm going to be putting out the 10 to 20 minute videos of maybe some of the more popcorn news, you know, the things that are not so much intense, maybe like the bigger stories. But I'm gonna try to get at least 3 popcorn newses out a day. That's my goal. We need 3 popcorn news and a stream out a day. And I'm gonna go 5 to 6 days a week, and I'm gonna rest on like Sunday and maybe Monday. So we'll probably go like Tuesday through Saturday or something like that. But I'm really trying to kick it into full gear though, and assert myself back in the spot that Keep It P should have been in. You know, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, my biggest fan, my mom, when my mom passed, you know, I took a little time off, you know, and I'm back now. Now, unfortunately, I anticipate some more family drama coming up here. I'm gonna let y'all know. It might be, there might, God willing, it ain't no break in the stream, but you know, you never know how time going when people get called. But my dad's like 81, y'all, and he ain't moving so well and so tight, and so he's being closely monitored. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? it is what it is. Life is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, other than that, y'all got me every day. Other than that, just know I'm coming with some news multiple times a day. And y'all can if y'all be on I be on Facebook a lot. That's my other platform of choice, Facebook and Instagram. I do have a TikTok. I post on all of them. I really ain't into the X. I was even streaming on X. Matter of fact, for all the people that's watching over there on TikTok, man, I'm gonna need y'all to come over here and subscribe to one of these Keep It P podcast YouTube channels, bro. Because we don't get to see what y'all got to say. Man, I go look around at the live over there on TikTok. It'd be 4, 5, 6,000 likes on the live. I'm like, where these people at? Why these people ain't in the chat? So TikTok, if y'all hear this message, if you stayed around this long, we need y'all over here in the conversation. I know that might be, your platform and all. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the views and the look, but if, we want to hear what the younger people got to say. That's a lot of young people at 6,000 or 7,000 likes. I know some older people over there too, but I would like to think that that's where my younger crowd is. Mike, I really appreciate everything you do, as well as Renee and all my people. Chris, you always got some great stuff to say. I appreciate you. Everybody, Foxy, everybody. I appreciate all y'all. I appreciate everybody. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate y'all. Y'all really make this this stream fun, fam. Y'all make this real fun for me. and it's and I like the family aspect too. If y'all, I'm very recluse. This is the reason why I can stream so much, because I don't got too many friends. I got some associates. I got business partners. When I get up with my people, we building, we working, we doing something. We play too. Like I don't be doing the lives no more where I be going to the studio and I'm doing turntable lessons right now because I'm like halfway, sort of like a good DJ. But I'm gonna start recording them lives too, so y'all can see them. You know what I'm saying? Just on the other side. Oh, that's another thing. I know like the notifications might become much, but I swear my plan is to separate the content amongst all 3 channels. And if you would subscribe to all 3 of them, you know what I'm saying? I get, I ain't gonna bombard y'all with too much. I'll give some note, because that's like a month and a half down the road. A month and a half down the road, I'm finna go live on each channel individually. Not all 3 at the same time. So, and maybe what I'll do is I'll go live on one and I'll put in the in that little chat thing that they got on YouTube, like a little post. I'll put the link and all that on the post on the other channels to let y'all know I'm going live on the other channels. I got some plans, man. I got some plans. And I ain't just talking either. I got 5,000 videos to back it up. But the thing about it though is sometimes you got to go through the 5,000 to get to the ones that really matter. And that's the takeaway I want y'all to take away from this. Don't think that this chat and y'all just happened. It didn't. There was a lot of 2 views, 1 view. It was a lot of that. A lot of that, sir, ma'am. So, whether it's streaming or whatever endeavor it is, you got to grind when you ain't getting paid to even think about getting somewhere. You got to put that time in. And it ain't even popping off like I really, 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 really want it yet. But only way you're going to get there is keep going. So I think I want to do at least another, maybe a 2-hour stream tonight. If I can get back in by 11, I'll do like 11 to 1 or something. Because there's more content. There's more stuff. What matter of fact, since y'all my people and I've been talking for quite some minute and ain't none of y'all left, I hope y'all subscribe if y'all like hearing me talk like that. What y'all want to see? If y'all gonna be rolling, I know some of y'all at work, some of y'all driving on the road, trucks, just listening in, and I appreciate you, brothers. You can't be typing while you're driving. I understand that. Somebody had hit me in the D and is like, man, I just be watching while I be driving, bro. I was like, that's dope. I was like, that's dope as hell. So I know everybody can't join the conversation. What kind of content? Now check this out. I only want to do content if it's got some B1 sort of knowledge in it, right? I do celebrity gossip, but only if it's like showing how they off code or you know, I don't beat up on black people. I don't disparage black people. So that stops me from doing a lot of content. You see what I'm saying? It stops me from doing. I just don't want my channel to be about the fluff. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how we always played it. If y'all go back and look at the videos we do, if we do talk about some celebrity something, it's about some B1 stuff. It's about some black empowerment. So thank you for creating a community that feels. Yeah, that's how it should be. Yeah. Man, listen. Hey Vicky, what up? Listen, I'm only mimicking and imitating the great people that I know that do this. We talking Tariq Nasheed. We talking Jason Black. We talking Phil Scott. We talking Torian Rain. We talking Great Black Shark. We talking Vicky Dillard. We talking these are just the people I can rattle off the top. Sincere love to God. We talking about Afro Elite. We talking about I'm a student as well as a thought leader. Like one thing I was gonna do on this episode, I debated whether, you know what I'm saying, I was gonna play some excerpts from Professor Black Truth. Y'all know about Professor Black Truth? Do y'all know about Professor Black Truth? Because I watch Professor Black Truth every day to make sure my mind is right and I'm on code and on message. Y'all know who Professor Black Truth is? You ever heard of him on YouTube? You are the top person that I listen to. I'm always looking forward to your videos. I'm rocking with you to the very. I appreciate that. Straight up. And you know, and Fox, let me tell you something, Fox. For real. I feel like that about the people that I watch. That the people, you know what I'm saying, it's all information. We all people. And you know, I ain't no leader. I ain't nobody special. I'm just a dude that like to talk and real into this shit. Like I'm just into this. Everybody got their little knack. I'm just really good at this. You know what I'm saying? But Professor Black Truth, I'm gonna share this with y'all because y'all family. Y'all around after everybody else wasn't around. So I'm gonna show y'all a little bit. Like when it comes to getting knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Steel sharpens steel. You dig what I'm saying? So look, I'm gonna show you what my subscription page look like. What I'm looking at on these YouTube streets. Hold on, I'm gonna show you what I'm looking at and who I'm rocking with. Right. First one you see, who is that? Tariq, Dave Anderson, Celebrity Junk with why can't I fucking I can't think of it right now because I'm talking. But like these, like matter of fact, these three gentlemen right here on this top row all create the same things, you know what I'm saying, that I'm like, I want to make sure that I present well. Tariq got family. I'm a part of, boy, I done been all the way to Atlanta and back to the I done been to the Hidden History Museum and all of that. You know what I'm saying? On some family, on some B1 family stuff. But let me show y'all this real quick. Let me go to my subscriptiones. My little subscriptions. And who I really rock with the most is Professor Black Truth, right? And today's morning briefing, like he do a morning briefing. And just to put y'all on real quick, just y'all got to go subscribe to the professor too. This is what his channel look like, Professor Black. Oh, I'm not even on it. My bad. Oh shit. Hold on. Let me get to it. Hold on. Hold on, real quick. On the real quick side of the game. On the side of the game that's quick. Here we go. Boom. This is Professor Black Truth, right? I listen to these every morning. He come out every morning at 5 a.m. Right? I'm gonna let y'all. I ain't gonna play his whole content, because I want y'all to go subscribe to him. But I want y'all to hear how he be kicking it, and why they actually call him Professor.
Family and fellow soldiers.
Hold up. I'm gonna show you why they call him Professor.
I'm the Professor, and this is the moment of truth. By now, everybody's witnessed that the white media has gone to the extremes trying to put the right slant on the second autopsy results for Nolan Wells, and this is because they took an enormous L after the murder of George Floyd. You see, they have been taking up for the police and every gang of anti-black racists since George Zimmerman, and as the public outrage grew, the white media saw their ability to conjure magic deteriorate. So that's what's happening here. They allowed these white right-wing racists like Ben Shapiro and others to push the lie that the autopsy results showed that Mr. Floyd died from a drug overdose, when the reality was exactly the opposite, of course. And the white media knew that, but they wanted to give that lie as much room as possible to spread and grow. When they don't have the facts on their side or can't invent some, they just start inventing lies. Since the family of Nolan Wells wisely had a second autopsy performed, the white media has been going into overdrive trying to dictate to you what the results are and what they mean instead of just reporting what the results actually said.
Yep.
The autopsy report showed no evidence of fractures or deep tissue injuries. They made a big deal out of that. They said, look, there's no evidence of fractures or deep tissue injuries. Yeah, because the only way that someone can be killed is if there's a fracture or deep tissue injuries, right? The report described a red discoloration in the back of Wells' skull as inconclusive and meriting further investigation. Without further information, the forensic pathologist Dr. Roger Mitchell wrote that he could not rule out the possibility that non-accidental factors contributed to or caused the death. The white media always make sure that they put that afterwards. Now, the operative term here is cannot rule out non-accidental factors, but the white media is trying to mislead people away from that. And they're emphasizing the no evidence of fractures. Well, George Floyd had no evidence of fractures either, and he was murdered on video in front of the world. And the Aryan propagandists weren't done. They're going hard in the paint to put a white slant on all of this. Quote, in his report, the pathologist pointed to several challenges inherent to the independent autopsy, including the decomposition of the body and outstanding questions about whether Wells was conscious when he entered the water. Because an initial autopsy was performed by the medical examiner in Mississippi, Wells' body arrived without organs or neck structures, making it impossible to determine if he had suffered a neck injury or whether water had entered his lungs, according to the report, which notes that the practice is not unusual. Still, the revelation relayed by Crump, talking about Benjamin Crump, prompted gasps from the crowd of several hundred in Chicago. The attorney called on state officials to provide that evidence for the family to review as part of their own independent investigation. Now, notice how they chose to phrase this. This is framing the story as opposed to merely reporting it. They want to try to reassure you that there was no foul play. That's what every word of the Aryan propagandist story was meant to say.
Yep.
First, they point out that, yes, okay, we admit that when Nolan Wells' body was turned over to the medical examiner for the second autopsy, the one that wasn't done in Mississippi, well, it turns out that the Mississippi coroner's office, they decided to remove his organs and his neck structures. Well, that way you have no means to actually establish if his neck was broken or whether there was water that it entered his lungs? Did he actually drown, etc., etc.? Well, but keep in mind, the second report says that that practice is not unusual. That's loaded language right there. Not unusual. Nobody said normal. They just said it's not unusual, which simply means it's not unheard of. And to have the white media reporting on this, that's weasel words the way that they're doing it.
Look, if y'all listen to him, now y'all see why I be on every word that matters. When people say stuff, when they type stuff, words matter. And you gotta sometimes you gotta go way in between the lines to actually hear what somebody's saying. That they don't call him professor for nothing.
Because to say that something is not unusual is not the same as saying that it's normal. To say that something is not unusual is certainly not the same as saying that it's standard operating procedure, or that it's best practices, or this is the way that it's always done. Instead, it's, well, that's not unusual. But then they wrote that still the revelations prompted gasps. That's meant to frame the story as, oh, well, see, these Negroes, they're just being so unreasonable, you see. I mean, it's obvious that the practice was not unusual at all, even though they use unusual very loosely. Right. But you see, these black folks, I mean, still they weren't satisfied. See how unreasonable they're being. This is the white media editorializing. By putting it's not unusual first, that's meant to set the tone to make it seem that it's unusual to be surprised or astonished that the dead body of a child was submitted without his organs and without his neck structures.
Right.
So the official white supremacist mouthpieces are doing what they do, lying either overtly or covertly. This is not an article, it's an editorial, and it has as much news value as a press release from those inbreds in Mississippi who just want people to take their word for it. The white media's headlines on this should read, Second autopsy report says that non-accidental factors cannot be ruled out. Because that's what his report actually said. When Benjamin Crump and the NAACP had their press conference regarding the second autopsy results, there were a number of white media articles that wanted to leap on it and try to put the right slant on it. And of course, there's been articles, quote unquote, that were put out by Rupert Murdoch's New York Daily Post. In it, they try to downplay the ton of unresolved questions about Wells' death, but they made sure to throw in this. Despite the unanswered questions, the NAACP concedes that it couldn't rule out that Wells' death may have been an accident. Now, before we go any further, there's two things to note here. First, the NAACP's position isn't that Nolan Wells' death was accidental. In fact, they made it clear that they weren't saying that at all.
And so narrative matters in this case. And we're saying that in Nolan Wells' situation, the narrative should not be it was an accident before there was an investigation. The narrative should not be the words of individuals who went on the boat to the island with him, but they came without him or with his cell phone, and you don't investigate those individuals. We're not accusing anyone of anything other than the state of Mississippi and local officials. We're accusing them of being derelict in their duties. To follow up and to ensure that regardless of what happened, that there was the proper investigation so that this family and that community could be assured that if anyone was involved, they would be held accountable. And if it wasn't truly an accident, that the families will have the necessary answers that any family deserves in this situation.
Now, that was the entire quote from the NAACP chairman in its entirety. The narrative should not be that it was an accident, at least not before there's an investigation. And the narrative should not be that the individuals who got on that boat with him to the island and then came back without him but with his cell phone, that these individuals shouldn't be investigated. That's what they actually said. That's a far cry from any alleged concession, isn't it? They said it themselves. And of course they have to be careful with their wording. These white supremacists love to throw nuisance suits, anything to muddy the waters. So they're careful with their wording not to accuse anyone of anything, except for the state and local officials who are clearly derelict in their duties, to say the least. The NAACP clearly called for the individuals who had Nolan Wells' cell phone to be investigated. At no point did they dignify or give any sort of credence to a natural death claim. They talked about it purely as a hypothetical. The evidence leading to foul play, however, that's what they were taking seriously, and that's what they were pointing to as what needs to be investigated.
Yep.
So mark your calendars. I actually agree with the NAACP on this one. Obviously, the white media is concerned. They're looking at this second autopsy and going, oh my God, the narrative's getting away from us again. We're losing control of the narrative. It's slipping away. And now they're trying to double and triple down on pushing a conclusion without evidence. They want the investigation stopped. And their goal is to bombard the public with talking points and all sorts of propaganda that, well, there's no evidence that supports a non-accidental death, and they're deliberately misrepresenting what the second autopsy report says and ignoring the ton of inconsistencies in the first autopsy report, as well as twisting what the supporters of Nolan Wells have been saying in order to do that. They said it as a hypothetical. Their main point was that the family hasn't gotten satisfactory answers to this young man's death, whatever the cause is. Nowhere did anyone say, well, it was probably an accident, or it most likely was. They didn't even say, we believe it may have been accidental. They were saying no matter what the cause of death, the family should get answers. The problem is that the NAACP's wording helped the white media to frame their little narrative, to skip right to their pre-canned, pre-planned talking points, which is that when a young black man dies under mysterious and highly suspicious circumstances, well, a black man being found mysteriously hanging from a tree, for example, well, the authorities call it suicide before there's an investigation, and you can't really question that. I mean, they know what they're doing, right? We've seen this too many times before, and the NAACP should be smart enough to know this. But they're not an organization based on competence. They're a social club, and getting in front of the cameras at times like this is meant to help raise their profile and, they hope, boost donations to their social club too. These people hobnob and associate with the exact kind of trash who are trying to bury this investigation. The associations and connections between the NAACP and these white supremacists in government far outweigh any alleged objective differences. But you can tell these white supremacist mouthpieces are trying to get on code because there was another publication who couldn't wait to jump on the NAACP's words, and the white media is so lazy with their propaganda, they just copied and pasted the New York Post's exact same words. NAACP concedes death of Nolan Wells may have been an accident. Again, for them to deliberately misuse the word concede as if anyone is backing away from their position or as if they're giving any ground on it when they actually didn't. When they're saying it as a hypothetical, it shows how desperate they are to try to push a particular talking point. But what else would you expect? The Daily Mail is a foreign rag. They're not a US-based anything, but you can smell the stench on the other side of the Atlantic. But one simply has to wonder, why is a publication in Britain so eager to absolve the local white authorities all the way over in Mississippi? Why the world would anyone in Britain care about this? Well, probably for the exact same reason that a Brit, Douglas Murray, was all butthurt and angry at the idea of FBA's getting reparations, even though as a Brit, he has absolutely nothing to do with that. And Douglas Murray's little editorial was published in the exact same New York Post that deliberately misrepresented the NAACP's words on Nolan Wells' death. So there's not even 1 degree of separation among these liars. They all draw from the exact same well. White supremacy is global, and if one of them gets punished in one place, that opens the possibility to all of them finally being made subject to consequences. Common sense says that the enemy lies, deceives, and would be desperately trying to twist people's words regardless. That's a given. But the real problem here is that these civil rights retreads are only too willing to accommodate the white powers that be. They're so used to giving fork-tongued answers where they have to be willing to take both sides of every issue so as not to offend white society, it makes it where they can't stand firm when white power tries to bowl them over. White power says something that is either demonstrably false or at the very least cannot be taken at face value, and the NAACP decides that they're going to keep some wiggle room there, keep the door open instead of slamming it shut. It is not the responsibility of Nolan Wells' family to prove that he was murdered. They're not the ones who are conducting the investigation. And the family of Nolan Wells are also not the ones who have all kinds of direct and indirect ties with the individuals who saw young Nolan last. You know full well that these people all have some sibling or idiot cousin who they've got in common. And the history of Mississippi, when it comes to murdering young black males in particular, and then lying egregiously about their deaths afterwards, is very well known and very well documented. From Emmett Till to James Chaney, you know he was one of the 3 civil rights workers murdered in the 1960s by sheriff's deputies. Whenever they mention the 3 civil rights workers murdered, Goodman, Schwerner, and Chaney, they always mention Chaney dead last. These white liberals always make sure of that. That alone, however, in the history of Mississippi is an indelible stain on all so-called law enforcement in that toilet. which should never be allowed to live that down, not today, not tomorrow, not in a million years.
Right.
So when these racist authorities say to take their word for it, you tell them hell no. And if some moron asks why, you tell them because we know these people too well. So what the headline should be is that white media outlets concede that Nolan Wells' death may have been non-accidental. They cite the evidence of trauma to his body, but they don't say that he wasn't killed. They don't say he wasn't murdered. They concede that he may well have been killed. Then, well, we can't say for sure. There's not enough evidence to say for sure. Well, using their own talking point, this merits further investigation, and you can't call it accidental.
Right.
Whenever you get the missing white woman of the week, nobody, I mean absolutely nobody in the white media has ever said, well, she probably committed suicide or she probably just drowned. We can't question the authorities. We certainly can't be jumping to conclusions. If the authorities say this is what happened, well, we need to accept that that's what happened. Natalie Holloway went missing, and her body has never been found. People who were with her before her disappearance, they all say that she had been drinking the night before she vanished. In fact, she'd been drinking a lot during her trip to Aruba, and yet neither the white media, certainly not Nancy Grace, nor the white society at large has ever said that Natalie Holloway's drinking alcohol had anything to do with her disappearance. And keep in mind, her body has never been found. Yet the white media never once questioned the family's demand for answers, and they never accepted what the authorities in Aruba said. In fact, the white media made a crusade out of defying what the authorities said. They weren't going to take no for an answer. When has any black person ever gone missing and the white media joined with the family to demand answers? And the white media didn't try to impugn the family's integrity when it came to Natalie Holloway. They weren't impugning all of the doubters and the critics and the skeptics. You didn't see any white media reports saying that Natalie Holloway's supporters gasped at the claims of the Aruba authorities. After all, why would they be surprised? It's not unusual for people to go missing on vacation. When a white person, especially a white woman, goes missing or turns up dead, the white media never tries to find a way to whitewash it and sanitize it and say, well, the family's concerns are not really valid. Oh, these guys are making much ado about nothing. It's just a tragic confluence of events. It certainly can't be foul play. They did that all the time. John Benet Ramsey, all the rest of them, what they do is they immediately say, well, we have to make absolutely certain it's not foul play. And if the family is not satisfied, then we aren't either. But with black people, no matter how blatant or unambiguous the circumstances or the evidence are, you can watch a black person being killed on camera and the white media will be the first ones to say, well, we can't jump to any conclusions now. I mean, we have to go ahead and look at all the possibilities, no matter how stupid, and we have to go with the ones that say that the white authorities are not to blame.
Is that the people in our chat, or is that the people in our chat? Is that the people in our chat? Do y'all hear where I get this game from? This is why I be coming to y'all so gamed up every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got the OGs giving me real game right here. Ain't nobody type nothing. Everybody listening. Ain't no numbers moved or nothing. Y'all, y'all stuck. Y'all hearing? Yeah, this that real black media right here. That's what this is. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all getting that good game? Yeah. This that good game. I'm glad I could share this with y'all. Y'all make sure that y'all go get up with the professor too.
Just like they're doing with Nolan Wells. They're trying every type of crackpot possibility. They're flying every kind of urban legend that they can come up with, throwing all kinds of crap against the wall, anything and everything that they can to dismiss all the questions. The white media isn't doing news coverage, they're doing a cover-up. Yep. Which, by the way, is exactly what happened when Cheney, Goodman, and Schwerner were murdered. Their bodies have been buried by their murderers, and the local rednecks down there were all saying, well, nobody here would do anything like that. This is all a ruse to make us look bad. It's all a hoax. Don't you guys know it's a fraud by people who don't like us? They're just trying to make us look bad. And the white media echoed that sentiment. That is, until the bodies were found. And then all these creeps suddenly went into hiding. The white media had nothing to say. They've been trying to find a way to hide from their words ever since. That happened in Mississippi. The family of Nolan Wells has every right to be suspicious, not just of the white males who he had been in the company of last and who had his keys, by the way, but also of the local authorities. If he voluntarily separated from the group, why would he give them his keys? Even his so-called friends can't answer that. And the family of Nolan Wells would be fools to believe anything from the racist in Mississippi law enforcement. Half of the police down there have either murdered a black person or they've helped to cover up the murder of a black person. And with Nolan Wells, it looks like they're up to their old tricks again. So of course, everyone's going to be keeping an eye on how this story develops. But what they're not going to be doing is taking the word of Mississippi law enforcement or the white media for anything. Because while neither the police nor the white media necessarily had anything directly to do with the death of Nolan Wells, the reality is you can't ask for credibility when you never had any to begin with. Good day and be one. I'd like to...
Woo, I love it. Hey, I had to sprinkle y'all with that game real quick. Thanks, Tammy, for the jewels. Yeah. I had to sprinkle y'all with a little game real quick. At first, I was going to cut you thirsty, but I'm like, nah, let me give y'all something to go back for. He dropped them every morning at 5 a.m. in the morning. So you can start your day out and get gamed up. He usually the moment of truth is during the week. And then on Friday, he do the crime report. And the crime report usually be something somebody done did. Some one of them folks done did. But he gets down, boy. I love it. I love the professor. You understand? Yeah, buddy. That's, you know what I'm saying. If I'm trying to disseminate some information, I'm trying to get to the professor level in dissemination of information. You know what I'm saying? But, just on my side of the game, because, also I've been trying to make sure I'm finna start dropping little facts and shit in the broadcast. I'm gonna try to always give a little bonus fact, something somebody to know. Matter of fact, we learned one today. Shout out to Foxy Butterfly. I appreciate your mom dropping them new exclusive facts on us. Y'all need to be watching the Keep It podcast, man, from the very start. Cause it be so much going on here. That's why I'm gonna go ahead and end it, because I don't want this one to be too long. This is 3 hours of power. You know what I usually tell y'all. I ain't gonna hold you, but I'm gonna mold you, fold you, and scold you about being on code. And I got 4 words for you. I would like to hope that you have subscribed for the vibes. You liked for the spike in the algorithm. That's what the like is for. When you like it, that other people come in and the chat get bigger. Then they got what's called hype. So even after video, if y'all want to come back and spend a little hype with a brother, you know what I'm talking about? I appreciate that. Y'all commented. I love it. But also what's really important is sharing these information, to people, you know what I'm saying, that you want to get with. Share it on your Facebook, share it on your Instagram, share it on your X, somewhere where somebody can pick this dope stuff up. Other than that, I got 4 words for you: love, peace, blessings, and aloha. I'm out the Doha for Shoha. You already know. Yickety.